science came around, and that's the best tool that we've come up with so far to like figure things out. Maybe there's something
Hmm.
better than science on its way. There's going to be some new method that people go, holy shit, this is way better than science, even, who knows?
It's all up in the air. It's in the cosmos, mixing around with chaos. And I agree, it's an art, definitely. I have no problem with it.
With what?
Philosophy.
Oh, yeah.
Like I have no problem with it. It's a
It's
beautiful
just
art.
so
Yes, it's just
tedious.
yes, and it's used for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Well, and so I mean, I still think I think it's really fun to think about like if we're bringing in a vat. I don't think
Oh
there's an answer
gods.
to it though, and I don't
Yeah.
really like talking about it. It's just kind of like a fun thing to do in my own mind like, "Oh, that's weird." It's just like a riddle like, "Oh, yeah." Or like looking at a like those optical illusions of things that can't exist. Like, what's the guy who made all the stairs that go in different directions?
Oh fuck. Oh, I know that painting.
Someone's
Oh,
gonna
I could
say it.
see it in
His
my
name
mind's
starts with an
eye.
E, and I can't remember the rest of it. You know what I'm talking about?
But I yes.
Yeah, Escher. Yeah, there it is. Cole wins. There's $10,000 waiting for you. Pick it
Nico.
up at your local bank. Just
Mm-hmm.
bring a bag and a weapon, and you'll be able to get anything you need from them. Uh, yeah, but like it's like looking at those is fun because it's impossible. I think of that the same way as like, oh, it's fun to think about these like deep philosophical things, even though there really isn't an answer for it. It's just kind of like a fun game to play. Someone said
Oh,
Usher. Who's that?
definitely.
Double donkey for sure. That's funny.
It's like overthinking for overthinkers.
Right.
Like the ones who already overthink, it gives them more of a reason to overthink. Like, hold on, wait a minute, wait, you actually have a point. But what if? And hear me out. Like that's the original. Hear me out. Like,
Right. Right. Totally. Yeah. Where everyone like already shrugged you off, like, whoa, 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 but. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I don't think it's worth talking to other people about. I think that that's pointless. But obviously, like what you said too, like ethically, I do think philosophy serves a great purpose because that is where that is what we still use it for real today, like in everyday life. Like the idea
Mhm.
of like I just had to take for my work like a sexual harassment training seminar. I didn't do anything. Everyone had to take it. It wasn't a mandatory just for me. The whole staff had to do it, just to be clear, everyone. And like as we're going through it, like it was really well done. David Schwimmer was in the videos all of a sudden. It was interesting. But they also like we're talking about trans people and how we should treat them in workplaces and stuff like that. And all of those things like that were those like progressive ideas that we are like accepting as we move forward in this like society are
Mhm.
because we're realizing like, oh yeah, we need to be better. Here's how we can do that. And that I think is philosophy driven.
Oh, absolutely. And it's literally practice for everything, all the way down to fucking stealing, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, uh, I know stealing is wrong, but I really need to get this formula for my baby. And it's just like, hey, I didn't see nothing. I didn't hear nothing. I'm not saying nothing. Do what you got to do to feed your child. Because
Right.
at the end of the day, like if it's for necessity, and we know how finances are for everyone. If it's not hurting no one, okay, it's hurt and quote unquote hurting the companies with their multi-billion dollar corporations. Come on.
Yeah. I
They're
used
not
to,
going to miss that can.
I think that's the same thing of it where it's like when someone says like, KILL-ing someone is objectively wrong. And then you realize, well, except in
Mm.
self-defense, like there are some
Mhm.
times where like I think that's a really similar point. Hey, VLC is, or wait,
Vic, Vic.
Benai,
VIC,
Vic,
Vic.
sorry, that's a
Hmm.
VIC. Vic, hey, welcome in. How old are you?
I'm 34.
Perfect. That's the right age to be. And what religion are you?
I wish I was younger. I'm an atheist.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
so do you believe in God then? I'm just
No,
kidding.
as an atheist, no.
I'm just kidding. I'm an atheist too.
I mean, you'd be surprised.
The only
There's
thing
agnostics
religion.
that believe something. They just don't know what
Well,
it
it's just
is.
a epistemic claim. I mean, I would just your guys were talking about philosophy. I have a philosophy degree, so
So you're
I just
bros.
wanted to. Yeah, no, I do teeth. I'm a dentist. You have to get a real job, so
Yeah,
I'm a
I did too.
philosopher. Yeah. Um,
I
I
majored in
just wanted to
philosophy
say,
too. We can say that to each other for people in
oh, okay.
chat. That just so
Then
you,
then you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
then you're fine.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
No one
was
has a
like right in the
job as
back.
a philosopher. Like,
No, my
just
admin guy.
someone
He's
paid me
like,
money to think about shit. Like you got to either write, at the very most, you got to write or teach. But usually, you have to be a dentist or like I like do videography. Yeah.
no, I do memes. I do like teeth. Like my soccer teeth is my my mascot, my wisdom tooth.
Oh
I'm
They
my
sorry.
come.
gosh.
It,
I'm sorry. What are you saying? Soccer teeth?
soccer
His
teeth.
soccer teeth
That's my
with his
mascot.
wisdom tooths.
Oh
Oh my
God, I got
gosh.
it. It was a
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I've I missed that one, and
The
I
face
don't
palm I
feel
just
bad
made.
about it. Yeah.
I just make memes like the unexamined
Socrates,
teeth.
I'm so sorry.
Oh man. Here, let's do
Bum, 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 bum.
There we go.
Oh.
There
Well,
was one line who had a laugh track. It was great.
did you have something that you wanted to share with us? Because we are looking to speak to believers in the in our Lord. If you have something quick you want to
Lord
drop,
and
the minute.
Savior, Noodly Bennett. No, I just wanted to. I mean, show the importance of epistemology and ethical discussions. But you're fine. I'm just here to listen.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate you. And I'm gonna block you forever. I didn't really. I just like saying that when I leave. Here's someone named Carnist Destroyer. That's an interesting name. Hey, Carnist, how old are you, and what's your religion?
Yeah, I'm 23. I don't hold to a religion. I just believe in God. I'm a deist.
Oh, sorry, that was the wrong. That was for the last guy. So do you believe in deism in a way that is semi based off the Bible? Like, do you think that the God, the D out there, is all loving, all knowing, all present, and all powerful, or not?
Or do you believe more in Gnosticism?
Yeah, I don't assign like any properties to the being. I just say it's necessary.
Why?
Just the prime mover.
You
Wait,
said
can you
why is it necessary?
wait? Can you talk to it?
No,
Like you can't pray or anything?
no.
And is it alive?
I don't know what it exists, but I think saying
I
it's
mean,
alive.
it still exists. Like I think you could convince me that the universe started and a thing started it, but that doesn't mean that the thing is still there. It could have the thing dying could have been what triggered the universe. Like God could have exploded and is the Big Bang happening, which
Oh,
is
I see
different
what you
than
The
like
mean.
a
Thing is such a
mind.
fantastic movie, though.
The thing.
Yeah.
Well, he's a deist, so I don't want to call it like the guy.
No, no, I was thinking of the actual movie, like The Thing with Jeff Goldblum. It's fucking fantastic.
No,
Wait,
that's
was it
the
Jeff Goldblum?
fly. He's the
That
fly.
is The Fly.
You're thinking of the
Oh,
fly. The
yeah.
thing is older. That's like a 60s movie.
70? Oh, it
I
was
think.
60s. What
I
the
don't know.
man? I'm on Googles. To the
So,
Googles.
but he's a deist, so we'll go with the D. So the D is could be dead, right?
No, on my view, it is all of reality, and it's a mind. So all of reality is a mind.
And what makes you think that all of reality is a mind? Like if I like see like a dog shit on the sidewalk, is that part of the mind?
Yeah, like so the external world, it is mental. That's not saying that it is in my mind or in your mind. It's just saying that it is a mind.
It's all together its own mind that also contains our minds.
Yeah, so our minds are
Yeah.
just going to be different personalities within this universal mind.
Cool. All right, neat.
Fudge. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it seems silly. It seems like you're just like assigning it mindfulness because you have a mind, and minds are like the best things about humans. I think. I mean, like fashion is cool, hair is cool, like fucking's neat. But like our mind is probably like our most valuable thing that any human has, and so When we like to think about the like depth of the cosmos, we also want to assign mindfulness to it to make the universe seem more like us, thus granting ourselves more grandeur. There's like a secret J in that word. It doesn't have it, but grandeur in the overall scheme of the cosmos. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that that view is problematic because if you take it that the external world, the world out there outside of our minds, is physical, which by definition means it's non-experiential, then what you're saying is that the qualities of experience, colors, flavors, textures, all of these are generated within our brain, inside of our skull. They don't exist outside of our brain. They're not fundamental. They're secondary. They're like side effects. And in that way, they would be like epiphenomenal. That's what it means to be epiphenomenal, that they're just generated by our brain. I think that's a more absurd view to say that all of these qualities that are associated with our mental experience of the world aren't actually out there in the world. They're just in this little meat sack in our skull. I think that's really absurd.
Yeah, I don't think that that's what it is. I think that the actualities of the universe existed before our minds, and they existed as a non-mind. I think that if a tree falls in the woods, it does make sound. I think it makes measurable sound. I think you could put a tape recorder out in the woods, push record, and then walk far enough away to not be able to hear it. And then it would, wait a couple hundred years. The tree eventually falls. Your long ass tape, you have to fast forward through 100 years. I know it takes forever. It's not a great experiment. I'm still working out the kinks. But I think you would hear, I think the tape recorder would have heard it because I think sound waves are real. I think that they actually do things. I think they move actual air. And I think that no mind had to be present with near that tape recorder for sound to have happened. I think that when you measure something, not just sound, but like literally the length of something, that like it really is, let's say 8 inches long, right? But like if you measured something at like, I think it was 8 inches before you measured it is what I mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see your view. I think it's still problematic because, again, you're associating the qualities of your experience of the physical world, which is all you really have access to is your own mental experience of the physical world. You're associating those qualities with just some
I have
physical
access to
props.
yours.
You don't have access to my mental experience, no. You only have access to yours.
Well, what color are my nails?
Look kind of like bluish green, I can't tell.
Dude, you nailed it. Yeah, I mean, through the camera, it's weird. Yeah, so that's your mind saw bluish green, and then you used either telepathy or maybe you just talked, and now it's in my mind too that you confirm me. Right?
Yeah,
That's
but we
like
can't
something
possibly know if we're
interesting just
seeing the
happened.
same color.
That's fine, but what you see as blue and called blue and actually that's not true. That was the very first philosophical thought I ever had, and I actually remember being in a car with my parents, and I was a little bit too young to have it. Like I was maybe in 8th grade or something, and I was like, what if we see different colors? And it fucked with me a little bit. But we actually can like colors have numbers assigned to them. There are wavelengths to them. And there are some people who see them a little bit differently. Like that's measurable via eyes. Like we're able to test these things now. So like that's the same thing as like measuring the sound. Like maybe we all hear a tree sound differently. Maybe that's all we like different music, because when like polka plays, you hear like cool lo-fi music. And I'm like, why does this idiot like polka, but I like lo-fi? You know what I mean? Like maybe, but like these are actually measurable. Like we know about BPMs. We know about like horn sounds and lo-fi. That's a jam and tune right there. So like we're actually able to like use other measurements other than just thinking about them to determine what is real now.
Yeah, I'm granting the measurements, but I'm saying, number one, that the actual experience of hearing a sound or seeing a color isn't going to be captured by measurement, what it feels like to actually experience seeing the color or hearing the sound. And
So
as far as we know, you can only understand measurement using your own mind. So you're back to just saying it's understood through your own mental experience.
So do you think it's possible that the length of something can be subjective?
Yes.
Well, that's absurd. I mean, like you have to know that sounds a little absurd to say, right? That
Well,
I
no,
think
because
that
I
I
take it
measured something that was 8 inches long, and then you measured it and it's also 8 inches long. I don't know how long yours is, but you know what I mean? Like, and then everyone in the world measures it and it's all the same length. And then like, but you're saying it was actually different lengths. It's just all in everyone's mind a different length. Like, what are we, is that really what you believe? Or are you just saying you believe that to hold to the stance?
Well, the reason I'm saying it's not objective is because it doesn't exist outside of the subjective filter of our mental experience. So all that means is that space, which measurement requires space. Space is just the way that our mind experiences. It doesn't exist outside of the subjective filter of our experience. That's all I'm saying, and that would be true for time as well, and causality, on my view. These are all just aspects of our mental experience. They don't exist outside of it.
All right. Well, I think that those are some really fun, like we were saying earlier with philosophy, like that's a really fun, cool thing to think about. Doesn't really make sense. Seems a little bit silly and seems like the being
You
able
can't point
to
out a
measure things.
contradiction, then it is rational, slow boy. So if you can't point out that there's a
Oh, you're
contradiction
the same
on
guy that does
view,
ableism? You were
right,
here
if
last
you
time.
can't point out that there's a contradiction on that view, then it's just going to follow.
Oh no,
that
I'm
it's
not pointing out.
logically
I'm just saying. I'm. This is a reductio ad absurdum. Your view is absurd. It doesn't have to be a contradiction. It has to be. It has to be that we've shown that your view is
what is the
dumb.
logical form of a reductio? You're not answering the question.
Oh, I don't know. I don't do that.
You don't know, but you just claimed it was a reductio, but you don't know the logical form of a reductio?
Have you been reduced to showing that you're absurd?
I'll answer it for you. It's P implies not P implies not P. That's the logical form of a reductio.
Okay, so what's the what's with the like usage of the insult that you do? What's that about? Because you've done that twice on here now.
Why does that matter?
Because it's really like not an okay like phrasing to use, and you shouldn't use it anymore. And I would like encourage you to stop using it.
I'm not interested in the meta. Stick with the substance. You just claimed that I committed a reductio. You just gave me a reductio, but you don't know the logical form of what a reductio is. I had to teach that to you.
Okay, teach it to me one more time. Wait a second. Hold on.
It's just a reductio is just P implies not P implies not P.
P implies not P implies not P?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your P? What's your first premise?
Well, you're the one who claimed that you had a reductio on my view. So just give the reductio.
Oh, yeah. I guess I don't do it that way. I guess we just, maybe it's not quite the right word for it, but we all showed that like you think people measure things at different lengths. So your view looks stupid right now.
No, I never said that. I said the necessary and sufficient conditions for measurement.
I asked you if the measurements were subjective, and you said, yeah. Like we measure things and the length of it actually changes throughout real space and time.
That's not what it means for it to be subjective. What it means for it to be subjective is just that the necessary and sufficient conditions for any measurement.
Okay, so when we measure something, it is always the exact same length, but we experience length differently?
Yeah, no, it doesn't follow from it being the same length every time that it is objective, right? You need to qualify that.
Go ahead.
I'm saying you would need to qualify that. It's not going to follow, right? It's not entailed that just because
that when we all measure something and it's the same length that it is that length, it doesn't follow?
No, not that it is that length, that it is objective, right? What it means to be objective is that it's mind independent. It's not going to follow from us having the same measurements that those measurements are mind independent. You need to show how that's entailed. You need to qualify that.
Yeah. And this is what I'm trying to like clarify with you and understand with you. So you're saying that even if everybody on Earth measured something that it was all 1 foot, and we all had used the same ruler to measure it, that it's possible that that thing wasn't the same size as that ruler?
No, I'm saying that it's possible that the necessary and sufficient conditions for that measurement are subjective. It's not going to follow from it being the same.
So you said it before. I'm not smart enough to follow this. You're gonna have to teach me what every one of those words means. Go ahead.
Wait, so just to be clear, you don't know the entry-level concepts required to have this conversation?
Absolutely not. You're going to have to teach it to me.
Okay. So you're just conceding that you are slow boy. It's not my job to teach you, right?
If you keep using that, I'm going to have to ban you, and I don't want to.
Oh, I apologize. I didn't know that.
You can't use that. You can't. That's why I banned you last time. That's why I kicked you last time. You changed your name and you came back to do it again. Okay?
No, that's not true.
Don't use it. Do you understand?
Okay, yeah. No, that's not true. I was never here before.
Yeah, you were here last week. You said the same exact argument and you used the same insult.
Just to be clear, if you're going to engage with a debate proposition here, but you don't know the entry-level concepts required to have the conversation or the debate, it's not my job to teach you. I would have to give you a lecture. And
then why are you here?
I'd have to give you a lecture and you'd have to pay me for my time. If you don't know the entry-level
no, I don't think you're worth it. I don't think you're smart.
Yeah, that's fine. Then you concede the debate proposition, right? And so you're just conceding that you're wrong. That's
No,
fine.
I'm not conceding I'm wrong. All I'm conceding is that you used a bunch of words in a row really fast that I don't understand, and I want you to go through them. Let's do it.
Yeah,
I
you're
want to
conceding
hear
that you
them.
don't know. You're conceding that you don't know the
Wait,
entry level concepts.
do you know
required
what
to
all the
have
words
debate.
mean?
All the
That
words
you-
that I've said, yes.
Yeah, okay, let's go. Let's get through them then. Say it one more time. We'll write it down.
Yeah, that's fine. What don't you understand?
Well, you're gonna have to say it one more time. We'll write it down. We'll go through it. I got paper.
Yeah, how about I just give a deductive argument? That would be easier for you.
You don't want to teach me the thing you just said?
Yeah, I'm happy to do anything you need.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Say it one more time. So I said if everybody measured something and we all used the same ruler, are you saying that it's possible that that thing that we measured wasn't the same length as that ruler? And you
No,
said
I
a
said
sentence.
that measurement. Yeah, I said it's not going to follow from that measurement being the same. That it's objective.
It's not
'Cause what it means
going
to
Wait, no,
logically follow. It's not going to logically follow
Yeah.
from the measurement being the same
Uh-huh.
that it is objective.
That what is objective?
The measurement. That's what I'm talking about. That's what it's referring to.
It's not going to follow that the measurement being the same, that it is the measurement?
It's not going to follow from the measurement being the same between
Okay.
different agents, right? You're saying different
the
people
same.
measuring this. Yeah, it's not
Uh-huh.
going to follow from the measurement being the same between different agents.
Okay, I'll add
That's the
between
measurement is objective.
different. This is a different sentence than the one you said last time, just to be clear. But
Yeah,
we'll do this
I'm
one.
qualifying it because you're not tracking, so I have to change the sentence,
This,
right? So-
I'm trying to track it. That's why I'm writing it down.
Well, you're not tracking though, because you're not understanding what I'm saying still. So I'm qualifying it and like breaking it down for you. So again,
Okay, but so you don't want to do the sentence that you said before.
no, I'm qualifying the sentence. Yeah, so I don't want to do that sentence because you're not tracking. You didn't
Okay,
understand that sentence.
I was here I'm here trying so hard to understand it, and I was ready for you to teach it to me, but now you're like going back and changing the sentence.
Can you repeat the sentence that I first uttered?
No, that's why I'm writing it down.
So then how can you claim that you were
Can
tracking?
you repeat the sentence you uttered?
How can you? Yeah, I can, but how can
Go
you claim
ahead.
that you were tracking?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll repeat it once you can see that you're just not tracking.
I'm not tracking. That's what I'm trying to tell
Okay,
you. I'm
great.
not tracking. I'm
So,
trying to
is
track it
something distorting your rational faculties? Like, why are you not able to track right now?
because you're not saying it.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that all of my utterances are non-cognitive
I don't think you can say it
utterances.
again.
So all of my utterances are non-cognitive, right?
I don't think you can say it again.
That's a yes or no question. I'm not gonna let you dodge.
I don't think you remember what you
Okay,
said.
so just to be clear, that's a yes or no question. I'm not gonna let you dodge. Are my utterances non-cognitive?
I don't know what it means. Do you want me to write that one
You don't
down?
know what it means. Okay, so just to be clear,
Are
you-
your
you're not
utterances non
tracking-
like okay, wait, let me
you're
go back.
claiming I'm not
That
tracking.
means is what you're saying dumb? Yeah, because you can't say it twice.
No, that just means that what I'm saying is not propositional.
Go ahead and say it then.
I'm asking you if you concede that or no.
Yeah,
It's
I
yes or no
concede it.
question.
Now say it again.
Oh, okay, so you concede that my utterances are non-propositional.
Absolutely. Now say the
Oh,
sentence
okay, so
again.
nothing I'm saying is capable of being true.
Yeah, absolutely. You're correct. Now
Oh,
say the
okay,
sentence
so is
again.
that statement's true then.
Absolutely. Now say the
Oh,
sentence
okay, so
again.
you just contradicted yourself. Oh my God. You're like
Absolutely.
funneling things
you
into
know
the
what?
back of the
He doesn't
conversation.
get it. He
Carno,
doesn't get
Carnus,
it.
you
Like,
wrapped
I
me
don't
up
know
in a
if you
knot and
think
I'm
you look
tangled.
good
Can you
right
say
now.
the sentence again?
You're like face down, ass up right now. Okay, yeah. Let's do it
I'm
again.
so I know I'm
So
getting
just
totally graved
to
by
be
you.
clear-
I'm just
Yeah, you're like
I'm
actually
pathetic.
face
I
down,
know
ass
it's
up.
so
I'm like
bad. Can you
actually
say the
giving you
sentence
back shots
again?
right now? I'm like actually giving you back shots.
Can
But
you
yeah,
say the
I'll go
sentence
ahead- I'll
again?
go ahead and repeat it because you weren't like able to track.
Go
something's
ahead.
Damn, and
distorting
I'm
your
over
rational
here with the
faculties.
popcorn watching it.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so something's
You
distorting your
shit.
rational
Anybody
faculties.
want the pay-per-view?
Go ahead.
Can someone muzzle this woman? Can we have a conversation?
Oh,
So
excuse you?
yeah. So just to be clear, you're not able
Hold
to
on.
have a
Muzzle who?
conversation.
Carnus, listen closely. If
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't
he's
say
mad.
Muzzle
He's
who?
if
mad.
you so
Slow
this
boy's
is funny
mad.
because this is what we just talked about in Ian's like chat thing. The thing that they do, and I'll let you talk one more time, Carnus. I'm going to give you a chance to say your sentence one more time. They come out and they blare out all these things as fast as they can, and then they intentionally insult you. And they did it to you, and they did it to me 3 times, even after I warned him not to. And they do it until they get banned, and then they go and they jay off to it. There's like papers about it, right? And so that's what he's going to go do because he's going to feel good about it. Now, Carnus, if you can unmute and say the original sentence that I'm asking for one time, I will let you keep going and we'll have this discussion. If you don't say that sentence again, I'm going to get rid of you because we can move on.
you concede that you're an utter slow boy who can't track the conversation, I'm happy to utter.
Yep. So that's what they do. He had
You know,
no
it's
idea
like
what he said.
Socrates says, the debate is lost the moment you start attacking the person.
Yeah, that's obvious. He had no idea what he said the first time, and so he had to just like resort to insults and ableism, which he did way before. I'm glad he came back though, because before I dropped him so early, and like I do feel bad when it's like, man, we could have maybe had a good conversation, but you resort to insults so early that like we have to end it, and like we don't want to get the live in trouble, and also you suck, right? But he came back and tried again, which like, you know, I was hoping he wouldn't do it again, but
You
I wonder
know,
if this is him again.
you can bring a horse to water, but you can't have it drink from the river.
Oops. This might be the same guy. Hey, how old are you?
I'm 52.
Thank you,
Whoa,
Dagda.
thanks for the frickin' galaxy. Who did that? Is
Oh
that Benny?
wow,
Dagda.
Galaxy.
Dagda, wow.
Angie know who I am. She's seen me
I
around.
do. Hi, atheist.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
All right. It seemed like you're a pretty straight up guy, man. The other guy, he like went around the word 30 times and say the one sentence that I'm about to say. It's just like, good grief, man. Whew. I'm not that smart. Matter of fact, I'm pretty dumb. But
I'm right there with you.
I came up.
No one is dumb. We're all just learning.
Well, right.
Life is a constant experience.
Basically, I think what he was trying to say was, it says God's description is a contradiction, hence he's fiction. And
I mean, sorry I don't think he was talking about this at all. He came in as a deist, saying like some other like weird presuppositional stuff. I would much rather talk about this though. So I let's just move on. But you tell me what you think.
God. Well, yeah. What I'm saying is, I guess what kind of line up with what he was saying is that someone's perception of God, even the people that wrote the Bible, their perception has changed and all these different things. Obviously, I'm a God believer, but I'm not a God believer because of the Bible. But
You believe the Bible's true?
a lot of it, yes.
Okay.
Well, and
Everything except the God stuff, right?
Yes, some of it. Well, here's the thing, and I challenge. The reason why I came in here tonight, because I'm challenging a lot of atheists about this. I'm saying if you actually go through the Bible and only apply the things that God Himself told someone to say, not man's description of Him, you would come out, I think, with a different perspective of the actual God. A lot of it was man's description. Like, for one, I was in the live the other night. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you go ahead. Yeah, you're good. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, I was in a live the other night arguing the fact of God can be in every place all the time. God never ever said that, not once.
So a lot of those things came from like the church fathers later and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But I mean, there's hints of it in the Bible, and some of them are. Some of the things like omnipotence and omnibenevolence, like those are, even though those words didn't exist yet, those things are sort of described in the Bible. And I think people later realized there must be no other way except for it to be the case that these are his attributes, right?
Well, again, if a man said that, people say that all the time. God said he can be a word. I said, show me where. And they'll show me to where one of the prophets were doing their best to describe something they didn't understand. But God never once said that. Never once claimed that, ever.
So you don't think God knows everything?
That one absolutely is debunked in Genesis in the Garden of Eden. God literally asked Adam, who told you this? Why would he ask who told you this if he already knew the answer? He didn't know. He asked Adam, who told you this
Yeah,
stuff?
but that was written by humans, so maybe he does know everything.
Right. Well, see, and that's the problem with this approach. A lot of Christians get mad. Well, they're going to say all of it's fake. Well, I
I
guess
mean,
that's
that
part
is
of
what I did right here. So they're kind of right, but I mean, to be clear, this is like this is a TikTok level, like draw people in attention thing. I think the
Yeah,
truth is
I
that
know how it
is that
works.
if God's description is as described with all the omnis, then that description version of him is impossible. You can't be all of those things together; they contradict each other. You can't be all purple, omni-purple, and also a little bit yellow. Those things go against each other. It just doesn't make sense, right? And so if
Exactly.
and I tell people all the time, if you'd be willing to ditch the omnis, or at least say like he's very loving, not all loving, but very loving to all of those,
Well,
then it makes my job against you a lot harder. Like the debate becomes more of a like let's go into probabilities and think about like what things are possible and stuff like that.
well, exactly. And that's another thing. It's all what I'm saying is basically, obviously, I believe in God. So I believe in the author of confusion. So saying that
What
to
is
say,
the what?
God, author of confusion.
Oh, okay.
Now, God, here's the thing about God, and I get into it with Justin all the time about this. God has told us straight up who he is. If someone tell you who they are, you better believe them.
But wait,
God has said, I'm a jealous God. I am a vengeful God.
how do you know
And
he said all that stuff?
yeah,
How do you
and
know
he
that was
told us
him?
straight up.
But how do you know that was him saying it?
Well, because I'm a God believer for it, not because of the Bible, not because of indoctrination, but because it's a testimony kind of thing. So it wouldn't do no justice here, but
That's fine. Look, even if he came up to you face to face and like walked on water and turned all of your house like water into wine and did a like triple standing backflip, I'd say neat, that's cool. But like, how do you know that that has nothing to do with like the description of God in the Old Testament? Because the Old Testament is what you're talking about, like the I'm a jealous God. Those were words written by humans.
well, it was confirmed with my personal experience with God.
Oh, he
So
said the Bible's true, or parts of it are true.
exactly, just the thing, I don't know, I can't explain that. I wouldn't even attempt to explain my experience with God. However, I will say that the fact that who points out the bad with the good, nobody does that. Well, very few do. Who gets on here and say, I believe in God, and yes, he did these things? Nobody. At least I haven't heard. Most Christians hate me. But it is what it is. He
Yeah, I
did
mean
do
it
those things.
weakens the God for sure. But it also like it just leads if the Bible isn't some supreme source of trueness, then it's all like just blind irrational guesswork.
Well, for me, no, because again, I had a personal experience,
But
and
you're
it
like
weighs
you're even
nothing.
saying yourself, you know that personal experiences are not that great of evidence even to look, I've seen a ghost before. I saw a ghost with my own eyes. I still don't
Of
believe in ghosts because I have a skeptical mind. And even though I did for a
course.
minute, I realized later, oh, that was probably something else. That probably wasn't a ghost. And even though I don't have a perfect explanation for it, my new explanation is not miracles defying the general laws of nature, right? Like it's just, oh yeah, maybe a dream or something, right?
Right. And of course, and I say this all the time, the first time it happened, I'd have thought that way. But after countless times of things being showed to me and proven shown in a dream and proven in life, one or two times I'll mark it off as, it was just luck. It just
Is that what
coincidence.
is it? You have dreams and then they become true in the future?
Somewhat. That's pretty much the premise of it. Yeah. I mean, but
Well,
there's
I mean,
other
you could prove
reasons.
that to me if you like next time you have some sort of vivid dream, come to me for, like, send me a DM and tell me what it was first. This is the dream. This is what's going to happen. Whatever it is, and then and do it to a few people. Send one to Justin. Send one to Hanji. Sorry, you don't jump in Hanji's DM without her approving it. But you can do it to Justin, and like send it to a few people or post it out on the internet for all to see. Make a video of it, and then we'll all wait and watch and see if it comes true. Because I think a lot of like prophecy is fake. I think that it happens where like you have a dream and then something else happens and you make a connection even though it's like loose and like not exactly, accurate.
Well, it's a lot deeper than that for me. I mean, I'm a skeptic. I obviously I got in trouble all the time and growing up because I questioned things that didn't make sense, at church or anything. And I was always in trouble because I disagreed. So I deconstructed, believe it or not, about 3 years ago. And what I found was it drew me closer to God. And I've done this before. I'm not new to this. Let me be honest with you, straight up forward. I do a lot of debate, with this. And let me, so I did that. I said, okay, the next time I'm going to show every atheist, da da da. And man, I was made so much of a fool. I mean, it was so embarrassing because I did something that I thought God showed me, but a year later, then it came to force. So I spent a year being embarrassed, and I just don't do that no more. But
Yeah.
the thing that I would share it with you if you like. I think
No, I just look. What I would want to see really is if, because look, you don't agree with this description, so you have no business being here. But you're cool, and I like you, so I was happy to speak with you. But
okay.
I do want to learn more about the prophetic dreams. I know most people don't want to hear about personal experience. I'm into it. I do want to hear about it, but in order for me to hear about it, I need to like see one happen first. So like seriously, if you have a dream tonight, make a video on TikTok or send me a message and tell me about it, and then I will like bring you back up and we'll talk about it and stuff like that. That's what I want to do with you. If it's private, obviously, like don't tell me like your secret dreams or something
You know
like
what?
that.
Being that you're cool, if something happens, I ain't had none of those dreams in a while actually. But if it happens, I'll do that. I'll
All
do it
right.
again for you.
I would appreciate that. I really would.
All right. But yeah, man. Nice having you up, man. Appreciate it.
And nice having you up. But thank you so much. All right, take care. Nice having you up to me. Were we on his show? Okay. He was cool.
It was. I got it, Lavender. Thank you all so much. I noticed there's a lot of people in here. For the people that have sent me help through my link tree, I appreciate each and every one of you. I felt like it was easier to just talk to you guys and tell you that it definitely helped immensely.
That is awesome. And yeah, Hanji, of course, feel free to talk like anytime. I don't run a strict boat here. Wait, what's the expression? A tight ship?
Tight ship, yeah.
A strict boat? What the fuck is that?
Hello, guys.
Your own analogy. Remember, you have to remember, Mezzo, when it comes to certain, depictions, it's subjective.
I know. And this is a strict boat.
God
We won't have
damn it.
subjectivity here. Power of the Ori. Hi, welcome in. How old are you?
Hello, I'm 36 years old. I was curious, are you looking for atheists or Christians?
Yeah, we're looking for Christians or any Abrahamic believer. I think would work.
Oh, well, I'm a physicist.
I remember you not from this live, but you went up in I think one of Thinker's lives, and yeah, are you in like a astrophysicist or just a regular physicist?
I do like hydrogen colliders, like smash atoms and particles together.
Atomic
like
physicist? Like what's the word for it?
like neutrons and electrons to understand the microwave background of like the microwave, like how the universe began.
All right. Well, and
Not
while
like
so Yeah, I mean, you're not what we're looking for, but we get this question all the time. So would you mind just there's 184 people in here. Everyone at home, cover your ears for a second. Don't listen to this. Can you tell us the secret? How did the universe begin?
Yeah, it wasn't created, it actually expanded. It went through the singularity of the expansion. You know how people say that God created the universe? Well, that's false, because there wasn't a God. It actually just went through an expansion. And when it goes through an
It's
expansion,
still expanding, right?
yeah, even to this day, it still gets expanding. The only thing is instead of slowing down, it's speeding up.
Are you someone who's under the impression that it will shrink back down eventually?
Yeah, they call this the Great Crunch or the
Yeah.
Great Collapse. Eventually, when it crunches itself into pieces 27 billion years from now, because the universe is 13.8 billion years with the microwave background and all that.
Can
And
I
when
offer
it
you a
when
joke
it
though?
when it shrinks back down to the singularity, to the tipping point from where it started, it's going to explode again into a next Big Bang.
Yeah. And we don't know, like it may have been doing this eternal and we don't know which version that we're on right now. This might be universe like 19 for all we know. Or infinity. But so I am going to bring up a different guest, but I want to offer you just one joke if I can. If you can tell your friends that you work with, instead of the big crunch, maybe consider calling it the big smoke. Because like after a big bang, what are you going to really want?
Yeah, they'll like lots of smoke. Yeah,
You're gonna have a smoke. It's a sex joke. Don't worry about it. Okay.
That's fine.
Nice to meet you, Power of the Ori. Thanks for sharing that with us, and feel free to listen on up.
Oh yeah, thanks.
All right.
Thanks for letting.
It was a sex
He's
joke,
always
guys.
nice.
What?
He's always nice. I know.
Yeah.
I got the joke. I know how to take it. Oh,
Al- Although I'm not. I don't do the. I don't know what we're allowed to say on TikTok, but I don't do the cigarette things anymore. That was probably definitely not the thing to say on TikTok. But I never got that thing of doing that after, because like in the room, like it's just, I don't know. It's just like there's already a lot of like different funks happening, and to add that smell seems like too much.
ugh,
This is
too much, too much.
I'm just a fan of punk rock. There we are. Hey, how old are you?
36.
36. Okay, yeah, you knew about real punk rock. Okay. I'm just doing an age thing in my mind. I'm not real, like you weren't around in the
Wait,
80s.
are you also a fan? Are you also a fan?
No. I mean, I do like some kind of punk type stuff. I don't. Does Coheed and Cambria count as punk rock? I don't know if they do. That's like
Coheed and
postmodern.
Cambria is just like a vibe.
It's just the guy's voice is so good.
No one's
They're
gonna
amazing. By the
take
way,
me
I'm a huge
alive.
fan, but they are definitely not punk rock in any way, shape, and form.
They're like
Not even close.
postmodern
But they're
rock
super
or
cool.
something.
And I'm
What
super
kind
about
of
them,
what
so,
kind of
yeah.
punk are you talking about? Also,
Oh,
Houndy, I think
gosh.
you just sang Muse, not Coheed.
I'm sorry?
What was it? Was it Muse?
Coheed and
I
Cambria
could have
is
sworn it was.
your eyes tell the story of a thing that dun 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 dun. That's Coheed and
Oh,
Cambria.
No, it's
them. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Coheed. That's
Okay,
Coheed.
yeah.
Oh, that song
I was
fucking
singing
kills.
Muse.
And they're
My
cool.
bad.
I'm about them. So, I grew up in like the New York punk scene, so we were big on like Choking Victim and Morning Glory and Leftover Krizak. Those kind of
These are all
bands
such
that were
punk
big,
rock band names that I've never heard of, but it sounds like you might as well be like on a like
big in
punk rock band name generator, just like looking about, you know. What I mean?
Yeah, like if you were familiar with like Alphabet City in Manhattan, like Lower East Side, then you would know it because that was the scene there. So that's where I grew up.
I've only been to New York's
yeah.
airport once for like 10 minutes, and I hated it. It's not for me. Sorry. And they had no punk music
lived in
shows
New
happening in the
York,
airport.
But brother, I live in San Diego, and I live here for a reason because it's so much better than the East Coast.
Yeah, West Coast, buddy. Sorry, is this what
Yeah,
you
I'm a
came
San
up here to
Diego
talk
boy
about?
now. I've lived here. No, I came up here to talk about. You said God's description is a contradiction. How do you have access to what God's description is?
Yeah. So, based off of how people describe him, there's usually a couple different ways that he's.
You have God in the possessive plural. It's his description. It says God's description is a contradiction. So I'm curious how you have access to what God says about himself.
Oh, I mean, do you think he wrote the Bible?
No. Definitely. Well, I don't think any Christian believes that. There's not a single Christian in the world.
He
who
inspired
has
the
any-
Bible?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I
Does the
believe in
Bible give
inspiration.
us hints
Okay,
about
but
his
why-
description?
Yeah. Lots of things give us hints about lots of things. Yeah, but why do you believe?
I mean,
that
maybe you're right. Maybe
God's
I don't have the
Is
description.
a contradiction.
Yeah, because he's the person's description that we're talking about. He's the being that we're describing.
But he's the one who said it. Like, that's weird. So, do you believe that God is the person speaking in the Bible?
No, I don't.
So then, why did you say God's possessive plural description is a contradiction?
Rewrite this for me. How should I say this?
Humanity's
description of God.
Description of God is a contradiction. Maybe you could say that. I guess because
it doesn't fit.
Okay, but what you're saying is just completely ridiculous. Okay, cool. Let's go from there. Let's use that as a jumping off point.
Well, look, everyone has a different description of him, so you tell me yours, and we'll see if it contradicts.
Oh yeah, sure. Your whole background is just.
He's also on a hoverboard.
Either you made a mistake, or
he's also on a hoverboard,
or you're just like misunderstanding how.
Do you see that he's also on a hoverboard? Like, this isn't 100%.
Oh, that is a hoverboard. Yeah. That is cool. Okay.
But look, this is a miracle because everybody knows hoverboards don't work on water, right? Unless you're all powerful. Okay.
So you're
like
not
Biff was. His brand of hoverboard was the Pitbull.
You're not taking yourself very seriously, is what you're saying.
I never do.
You're not.
But
okay, that's cool.
But this is a conversation starter, and we can work on the grammar later. So but let's just talk about what your description of God is.
Yeah, sure. Are you an atheist?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Can I ask why?
Yes, because every time I hear God described, he's either a contradiction or some kind of a misnomer. That's when people come up and say, God is the universe. And then it's like, well, that already has a name. It's the universe.
So that's not the classical theism. So
absolutely. So people either do that, and it's a misnomer, like the guy from earlier who was trying to use words that he couldn't say twice. Or they're saying, God has these, is the all-powerful, all-knowing, all-good being that created the universe and set forth the motion of sacrificing himself in order to save us from torment in the afterlife. And a lot of that is a contradiction.
Yeah, so like was with you for the okay, so I know you're not making that claim, you're just repeating things that you've heard from other people. So I think those other people are ridiculous. I would say God's the necessary being. I would say he is the creator of the universe. I would say that. Going
do you think you can pray to him?
Well, here, let me just finish. So going further than that is where I think we get into muddy waters, and there's lots of different theological traditions and lots of different kind of ways to perceive God. And I don't think I'm set on one of them. So now I'll answer your question. Do I think I can pray to him? Well, yeah, I think he hears me.
Well, yeah, because this is different. 100%. Because
and I am a Christian, by the way. And I am a Christian. So that helps.
Well, okay, it does, because what you just said before was like, oh, that's a deism, that's nonsense. But I do think that God is the creator of the universe.
I didn't say it was nonsense. I said
What'd you say?
Deism. I did not say it was nonsense.
You said that's deism, and your tone was that deism is like not great.
Well, disregard my tone. I had look.
Well, then disregard my apostrophe, dude. Like, if we're gonna be pedantic, let's get into it. No, here, listen though. Listen, this is not very punk rock of you.
I'm just saying that I didn't
Hey,
say
hey,
that.
this is not very
You
fun
said that.
argument.
I didn't say that.
But then you proceeded to say that like
Punk rock can be. Talking over top of you is about as punk rock as it can be.
the most. Then you said like then the most we can know is basically deism, and then then the rest is murky waters,
I
right?
didn't say that at all.
Did you not say that like you think he's
No,
the creator,
first of
but
all,
once you
said
get into
it's direct
theology, it's murky waters?
No, that's not what I said at all.
Okay, well,
Okay,
start from the top
so
again though, because
What I
that's
said
what I
is that
heard.
God is the necessary. What I said is God is the necessary being.
What does that
and
mean?
is the creator.
What is a necessary
Okay, cool.
being?
Like so he. Are you familiar with contingency and necessity?
I mean, I get the idea of it that like some things require other things, even philosophically, but I don't know that like a being is necessary. I think that to me it seems like the universe existed for a long time without
That's a
beings.
step forward. Cool. Well, that's a step forward. No, but that's not what necessary being is. So things are contingent upon other things, right? So if something's contingent, it relies upon something previous to it that helped it into existence, for instance. That's not the only example. There are also logical examples of contingency, but essentially what contingency means is that it's relying on something else.
Like it's a cause and effect is all you're talking about.
No, that's not necessarily. But anyways, so when you boil it down, you get down. So you can either have, and you can have like this irreducible complexity. You can have this idea that goes back infinitely, or you can resolve it with a necessity. I believe God is that necessity.
Okay. And now, if you can try to not interrupt for like one whole minute. Okay. Just see if do your best to try like 1 minute. Okay. I let you talk for a good block there and you try, just try. The reason I think that this is ridiculous and not what you're actually arguing for is because to say like, oh, in cosmic terms, there's some necessary being. When you reduce everything back to the beginning of time, there must be some mind that started it. That's not what you're arguing for. You're arguing for that mind that started everything also has emotions, desires, and a telepathic communication link with you. And that's ridiculous, right? If to say that like dude, you were at like 50 seconds, man. You were so close. You're at like 50 seconds. It is rude. It is rude though. Yeah, it is rude though, right? Yeah, is it rude?
Yeah, when you did it too, it was also rude. Is it only rude for me?
Is it your show or mine?
Oh, you're gonna pull that move? Okay, cool.
I'm just curious whose show it is.
Yeah, it's your show. You're the boss. You're the big
so
alpha
so
in the
when
room.
I'm talking, just try to wait. And what I do is I put periods on the end of my sentences, and then you'll do it too, and we'll go back and forth.
Go ahead, Mr. Alpha.
I'm so far from an alpha male. I'm so far from it.
Is it like upset Phil bro night tonight? Like what
It
is
you know what?
on?
I may need to bring up this background actually just for this.
Can you just give me a reason
Hold
why?
on, I'm doing a joke,
don't
dude.
feel the
Jesus
necessary
Christ. Can't even do
being
one
is your Lord
joke.
Savior. Agreed.
Here we go. Representing the Philly Bros tonight. This is the Philly. If
Can you explain why we don't need a necessary being? Can you just explain that?
Yeah, I think that the universe is eternal. I don't think that a mind doesn't make sense in place of just a universe, because minds have memories, they have emotions, they have like will, and all these things that came later from all of the evidence around us. Those type of things all existed later in the like, in the motion of the universe. Motion's not the right word.
So if the universe was
Motion of the
infinitely
ocean.
old, wouldn't it take an infinite amount of time to reach this moment?
To reach this moment, yeah, and also to reach the end. It's infinite in both directions.
So this moment right now, how long did it take to get to this moment?
All of time.
So
up until
an
now.
infinite amount of time, correct?
Yeah.
An infinite. So we could never reach this moment. So we would
Yeah,
never
we did.
be in this moment. So
No,
it did actually began.
Yeah, we're in the moment right now. It's happening.
Yeah. So
Oh my
it
God, it's
needed
happening,
to
it's happening.
begin.
This isn't
It
as
needed
great.
to begin, which means that it needed to have a beginning.
Do you think
that's
it'll ever end?
Proof. No, wait. So if there were
No,
an
hold on.
infinite
We're talking about
previous moment,
infinity. Do
then
you think that the
therefore-
universe is going to
Yeah,
end?
No. Here, answer my question. See, you're talking over top of me now, and you asked me to give you respect, and you're not doing the
I
same to me.
answered your question, and then I was going to ask one too.
No. How
You
long
said,
does it
"Are we
take
in the
to reach
moment?"
this
And I said,
if
"Infinity
the
long," and now
universe
we're
is
in it.
infinite?
And then I asked you one.
Okay, cool. No. So if it took an infinite amount of time, would we ever reach this moment? Yes. or
Yeah,
no?
I think so.
Wait. Whoa. You think you can reach the end of an infinite?
No, I think we're in the middle of the infinite. It goes infinity both ways. We're in the middle of it.
How many moments were previous to this moment?
Yeah, I
An
mean, well,
infinite
look,
amount of moments?
mathematically, there's lots of different
Okay, well,
types of
then
infinity.
an infinite
And so if
amount
you
of moments to reach this moment.
look, I understand this
You're
thing.
contradicting
I've done
yourself,
this
sir.
before. If you want to hear it, okay. You're also there's a
You're
little
not
bit
good
of a
at it.
delay with you, and so when you're talking, it's like coming in at a weird time, and that's not your fault. That's like a Wi-Fi thing. But the thing about, like, we've talked about this with a cup of coffee. If you're so you have red bars, try to maybe get on the Wi-Fi. The thing about if your goal is to drink a cup of coffee, and there's an infinite amount of moments before drinking that cup of coffee, how will you ever drink the coffee? That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
This is like a common explanation, or like a common way that this problem is posed, right? And I think that
if
all
it took an infinite amount of time to reach this moment, how are we living in this moment?
Yeah. So I don't think that this moment is the drink of coffee. I think it's one of the moments in between all the steps. I think that since it goes infinite in both directions, it makes more sense that we are in the middle of two infinities, right? Because that's
How
why
many
these moments
moments
are
would it
happening.
take
And
to
if you
reach
just
this moment?
fucking shut up. Oh my God, dude. You have to stop. I have periods. Jesus Christ. What's going on tonight? Is it Tuesday? I normally don't go live on Tuesdays. Is this a normal thing?
Uh, eh, it's becoming every day, if I'm being completely honest.
Contradicting yourself, and I just want to cut you off because when you say there was an
I would love for
infinite-
you to cut me off, but I just don't want to right now. So I understand that this is a confusing answer to a difficult problem. It's a problem that we both have. Neither of us have a solution to this, right? So you think God was created?
I love you, myself.
Absolutely not.
Do you think God existed infinitely?
So I believe God did not have a beginning. I believe the first moment of time was when God was unchanging, and then I believe he enters into time at the moment of
He
creation.
enters into time?
Yeah, so this is in the philosophy of religion. This is
So
not anything
this is
radical.
your
Like,
solution
why
is
are you
God
cutting me off?
existed
Go ahead, cut me off.
eternally, and that's
Why
fine.
are you cutting me off? See, you
Why are
complain.
you
cry
getting
a
so
river about it.
upset?
Because
I
he
love
cries
this.
a river
Calm
about it every
down.
time he
How old
does.
is he?
I do it. Look. The fact is,
When's your
do you
birthday?
think that there were an infinite amount of moments before this moment? If you say yes to that, then it's impossible to reach this moment. Therefore, you need to have a beginning. If you have a beginning, that beginning needs to have a cause. That cause is what we would call God. This is very basic stuff.
I hear your
And now you
argument.
would have to argue
You don't need
against
a
it.
God to have a cause, though. That's the problem.
I
So
hear
what
your
would you
argument. I
call-
heard your whole argument, and I'm going to respond to it. And then I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer it too, okay?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. We're Talk 101. Here we go. Yes, this is a confusing answer to a difficult question. I don't know what it means to be existing in a moment that has infinity on either side of it. It's the best answer I have because we are here. If we weren't here, I would be arguing for this differently. But it does not make sense that time can start. And it also does make sense because we are here and it's happening. So it's a bummer. It's a bullet that I have to bite, right? You have the same bullet to bite just about God. You can't say that God went from existing without time to before, and then existing to in time after, because before and after are already time words. Time's already existing eternally with God forever. You have no creation starting point for God. I have no creation starting point for the universe. We are equals here. So
Okay,
tell me
so what
again
do you
how
define
God.
then?
Now, my question to you. Remember, I told you before I was going to ask you a question,
Okay, yeah. The problem is though,
and then you said you were going to answer it. You promised me. Your dog's
sure,
pissed
I'll
about
answer
it.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
How did God enter time without already existing in time? What was
So
it like? How can there be
did not
before and
exist when
after
God
time?
was all alone. So God didn't. So time did not exist when God was all alone, previous to creation. That's why. Because I'm defining time as events that change previous to the act of creation.
So God was
Things-
frozen, stuck in time?
Whoa. Let me finish. So previous to creation.
I have to take a break from this guy. I don't mind if he comes back up, but
What
I
the
like.
fuck was his problem?
I just like to have a quieter live. I just like to have a quieter live. He can come back up and we can talk about it, but he's gonna have to like turn the volume down or something. Yeah, it's just a little
Why
bit of a
are they
time.
so angry for no reason? Like we just talk. We don't yell. We don't scream. We're not children.
I know that like people talk over sometimes. It's the internet. It's difficult. These conversations are difficult. But if you like actually like say something that doesn't make sense, we should be able to go, wait, what does that mean?
Hello,
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 33.
Welcome in. Are you a religious person?
No,
Okay.
Well, we're looking for people who are religious tonight. Do you believe in God?
no. But
Oh.
your description says God's description is a contradiction, hence he is fiction.
Yes, fiction means not real.
Yeah, I know what that means. I read books.
Oh my gosh, I am not in the mood for overly sensitive people. It was just a question.
I don't
Like,
know.
what was the reason to be that rude? I don't like condescending people, and then they wonder why I act like a bitch back.
I just don't get
Hey,
what
what's up, fellas?
we're doing here. Hey, Seraphim? Is that you?
Hey, Seraphim.
Hey, how old are you and what's your religion?
I am 28 and I consider myself a Christian, but more importantly, I am a son of the living God.
But you are a Christian? You're not Sadak Mac?
Yeah, Christian, the word Christian, the word Christian was actually derived as a derogatory term for people who followed Christ, I mean, but, you know, if people are going to call me crazy for the sake of my salvation, you know, let them.
Okay, yeah. Well, there's a slightly new
I think
sect
God
called.
is real.
There's a, just for your information, there's a newer sect called Sadak Mac. That is people who don't consider themselves Christians but do follow the teachings of Jesus. It sounds like you might be kind of up in that alley, so something to consider for future. If someone says, "What's your religion?" I'm a Sadak Mac. That's just all it means, right? The full thing is the whole thing is Sadak Mac Biftaj, but that's a little too long to say, so people just say Sadak Mac. But did you want to talk about the contradictions in God, or did you have something else you want to chat about?
Interesting. No, yeah, I would like to hear what you think is a contradiction, because I am one of those Christians who actually read the Holy Quran, and I also read First Enoch. So there's not very many of us, and even within our own quote unquote Christians, right, we get judged and are called not Christian for, you know, having my own thoughts and my own mind. And through logic, through reading the holy books, I did find Jesus Christ. And
Did you know Jesus
he was,
before
and he will
going
forever
in?
be.
I'm just curious. Were you
I
already a
knew-
Jesus follower?
So, yes, but So my family is from Irapuato, Mexico, Irapuato, Guanajuato, and they migrated here to the U.S. First generation citizen of the United States. They were Catholic. They came here.
Okay.
They converted to what you call non-denominational Christians. But even within, the scope of Catholicism, because my grandma was very Catholic.
Seraphim, there's a bit of a delay I'm
it
hearing.
was still,
I'm sorry to cut you off. There's a really bad delay. Like I can hear my echo on your end a little bit, and it's like pretty far back, which is okay. We can talk, but we're just gonna both have to really make sure that we like say a whole sentence and hit a period, and then at the period give a moment for the other person to talk. Are you cool with that?
connection.
You back? Maybe you might have to like find a Wi-Fi
Yeah,
and get close.
I'm totally cool with that.
Okay.
I'm
So
totally cool with that. Yeah, I think it was my Wi-Fi.
So the contradictions I'm talking about are not like biblical contradictions as much as they are theological, philosophical contradictions. The idea being if God is all good and all knowing and all powerful, that doesn't make sense. You can't be all three of those things. Do you think God is all those things?
I most definitely think so. But the way that we as humans tend to, and it's logical as to why, because we're made in his likeness and his image. So we tend to look into our perspective in the ways of this is how God should do it. But there is only one way, and that way is life. Life came from life. Life cannot come from something that is non-life. Something even has to spark an ignition for something to catch on fire. So there has to be a beginning and a before beginning in order for something as complex as a human body, human organ be
So when I say
constructed.
that a being can't be both all powerful, all knowing, and all good, you started talking about like life only comes from life, and I don't understand how that addresses the dilemma. But I haven't fully given you the dilemma yet, so let me just dive into it, and we'll see. Let's pick any one of them. You think God is all powerful and all good. Do you think God is and when we say all powerful, that means like God can do anything, right? Literally, like God is capable of doing anything. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So can God do evil things?
If he chose to. And something that would seem evil to me and to you was at one point, Jesus Christ claimed that if it were to him, he would have legions of angels down here slaughtering everybody, but that's not what he wanted. He willingly gave up his life as ransom, maybe as a, yes, I'm sorry that I made humans, but I love them so much that I'll take the blame for it,
Why is he sorry he made humans?
Well,
Was it a mistake?
It goes all the way to the beginning, which we know as Genesis, but truly the great Enoch speaks about the things that were happening on the earth that made us an abomination, and that was angels and humans mating with each other to create what we unfortunately have today.
What was making humans a mistake?
If we want to look into, if we want to put God's eyes on right now and try to determine what he would think.
I'm just asking you, do you think God messed up and made an error by making humans?
No, I don't think that he made an error in making humans. There's a love aspect to things, and love does hurt sometimes.
Do you think he can't?
Always go.
Does he not make mistakes? Can he make a mistake?
I'm looking, throughout history, right? And the mistakes that I see are on our side. Now, there was paradise on the
So
other
just to be clear, can he make a mistake?
side. If you call free will a mistake, and what I call ultimate love, with authority, because not only did he give us choice, but he gave us choice with authority. So
Can God make a mistake?
No, we did.
Okay, if God can't make a mistake, then we've found something that we can do that is not some logical contradiction, but that God cannot do. So he's not all powerful. There's things that he can't do. He can't make a boo-boo. He can't stub his toe. He can't trip.
It's not that he can't. It's that he is a God of his word. So as you see that as...
You think God can stub his toe?
If you see that as weakness, I only see that as strong, because regular men...
I'm not saying it's a weakness
like
at all.
Regular men like me and you...
Seraphim, I'm not
fail.
saying it's a weakness. I'm just saying it's one thing that is not on his checklist of possibilities. Right?
Fanny Pack, it's just not that simple. And I wish that I could give you a yes and no answer, but
what's fanny pack?
If you're not listening, then you won't hear. That's one of the commenters, Fanny Pack.
Don't pay attention to the comments. You're
I thought that
having
was
a
some
discussion
insult
with
you were
those.
giving me.
Oh no!
I thought you were like, listen here, fanny pack, which I'm gonna fucking steal because that's really funny.
No. It was one of the names of the commenters. I'm sorry, man.
Listen here, fanny pack. Answer the questions. Okay.
I won't read the
Look,
comments.
can God stub his toe?
Well, I didn't think that God can unalive, but ultimately he can't unalive. It's something that he
let's just recap the Q&A real quick. The question was, can God stub his toe? And the answer was, I didn't think God can unalive. How does that answer the original question?
Because it's like, at one point I didn't think that God can unalive, and yes, at that given point in time, Yeshua, if he went one way and he stubbed his toe, then yes, I'm sure 100% that God can stub his toe. But literally speaking, as of right now, he's the Holy Spirit and dwells not only among us, but inside of us. We have that reconnection of breath since the...
I'm just going to take a little break. It's not that he needs a timeout. It's that I do. Hanji, can I ask you a question?
Ask away.
Can any of the gods that you believe in stub their toe?
Probably.
Okay. Just a one word answer. So done. And look, it's not even a solid answer. It's not a full yes or no. But it was kind of like, I'm not sure, but probably. Then it was over.
I guess tonight is just one of those nights, huh?
I can't ever go live on a Tuesday again. I'm gonna change my background.
Traumatized.
I'm putting my background to something like way dumber. I think that'll help.
Oh no.
Let's go back to. You know what? Let's do this. Let's change the crew.
Oh no.
Seraphim, I'm gonna just wrap that up because I'm sure you're still talking. Yeah, it's fine. I'm not listening. I won't hear. You're right. Okay. The reason I made this background was because every now and then people come up and go like, hey, why is it that all these atheist lives are just only dogging on Christians? I was like, oh, hey, is this what you want to talk about? You want to chat about this? And then they're going to say no.
Shiva, Vishnu,
Brahman.
So,
yeah, Brahma should be in the middle. And I think this should be Shiva. And this should be Vishnu. But I think Shiva's supposed to be on the left, but this might be reversed. It also might not matter. Yeah, I'm not totally sure.
Hindu beliefs are cool as shit. Shiva just scares the ever living shit out of me.
I got this one too.
Don't let Justin see this one.
I actually love Marduk so much, but I did this for the same reason. I just want to be able to be like, is this what you want to talk about then? But okay, let's go to a real one. Let's go to a real one. Oh, probably have another hour or so.
Praise Marduk and his Babylonian beard.
Yeah, let's just bring up the silly one so that we can get
Oh
some.
no, not bonobos again.
Well, look, it brings in a more fun of a crowd where people actually want to like have a conversation and engage and don't mind a little bit of a joke. And then we always end up talking about real shit anyways. But we don't have to like swim through all the BS,
Slim thick with that BS. Yeah, I know, I get it. I get it. I can't tell who's in queue because I'm not like a super mom, but I think it's probably just gonna be like a chill night tonight. You peaked at like 200 and something viewers, which is chef's kiss.
Yeah, I really don't have enough followers to warrant these types of views, nor do I have the charisma, nor do I have the the topics. This is fucking stupid. Like, why are people
I mean, they say that animals don't have a conscience, therefore their morality is objective, therefore they cannot sin, so they can go to heaven. But we're animals too.
Well, there's a cool route to this question, which is what's the bare minimum to get into heaven? But the other part of it is if they do get into heaven, because one of the things that they say, like the reason God made free will, even though it's so devastating to us, because it is devastating to us, the reason they made free will was so that we could truly love God while we were in heaven. And I was like, well, he didn't have to do that. He just gets to go party and enjoy it and eat all the freaking bananas and watermelons that he wants. Monkeys don't really eat bananas, and he's not a monkey. I know these things, but let's ride. So will he not enjoy heaven? Will God be not enjoying them? Like it becomes a weird question as to, like it just like exposes the silliness of the concept of like the Christian heaven, at least.
Oh, 1,000%. And I know I'm gonna like sidetrack here, but to reply to David. So let's do it like we do on the Discovery Channel.
I've done that song before.
Iconic. I fucking iconic.
I don't have my I didn't set up my computer.
No, it's
So
okay. But you want to know something too? When I was reading text while you look for that, it literally says in their book that no man shall see the seat of heaven but the one that came from it, which was supposedly Jesus. So
wait, say that
how
one
do
more.
you know
Sorry,
that
say that one more
anyone
time.
that no one has been to the seat of like no mortal, how does it go? No human has sat in the seat of heaven but the son who came down.
I
Now, what's that
mean,
fucking passage?
if it's like
Does anyone have the
that,
Bible verse?
I could see the loophole of it being like, well, it's one thing to chill in heaven and another thing to like sit in the chair. You know what I mean? Like maybe they're talking
Well,
about
they
the
said
throne.
that. True. That
There,
is a loophole. I'll give you that.
there's a big problem with just like monarchies in general are dog shit. And so like the idea that we're gonna like go in heaven and there's a king still, like that's not good. Wait,
Right?
someone just talked to me.
And God, I said too elevated. Sorry, damn it.
Let me see. Oh man, that one's about like finding the right song. That's not it. It's like soft.
Ooh, 1980s just called.
No, that's Sweet Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
How's it go?
I don't know. I was kind of getting Knight Rider vibes.
wrong note. I gotta look it up. I don't know what it is.
Oh, thank you, Storm, for subscribing. Thank you guys for the subbies and the likes. I feel like we can get to 100K, but I digress. That's just me.
Oh yeah, and if anyone's in the Discord chatting, I don't have my computer tonight. I'm sorry, but yeah, thanks everyone for being here. Everyone tap the screen just one more time, just one tap.
Just tap the screen like the Romans tapped Jesus to the cross.
Jesus Christ, Josh.
Oh, John 3:13. I have the verse. Thank you, JB. Hold on, let me get my biblios. I'll be right back. John 3.
Oh yeah, it's called Bad Touch. Okay.
Yeah, me the fucking Bible, Josephus.
Yeah. You and me, baby. We could do it. Wait, let me hear the loop I did before real quick. Yeah, it's fine. Not as good though.
Is
While
it
we wait for
first
the next
John
guest.
or second John? Yes. Oh no.
I think it's a little lower.
A little bit. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like we do on the Discovery Channel. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. I'm muted, they can't hear me anyway.
I can hear you.
Oh shit.
Did you think you were muted?
They hit the mute. Yeah.
You were
Over here
grooving.
just I was shaking my little tuchus and everything. I'm just kidding. It's 2 handfuls, but that's besides the point.
It just doesn't work over across a live because the like slight delay. You'd have to sing on the wrong notes. It just doesn't work that well, unfortunately. And so like the future will solve this problem and we will like jam on the internet together. It's gonna be great.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, let me see. All right, since no one's here, I'm gonna do the vocals.
Go for it. Let's hear it.
Discovery Channel. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
It's all right. It's all right.
Works. And JB got the verse. No one has ever gone into heaven except the one who came from heaven. So I was close.
Yo, so that's different. What verse did you say it was?
He said 1 John
Okay.
3:13.
So 1 John is different than regular John.
I guess so. Unless it is regular John. I don't
think
know.
it must be regular John because 1 John 3:13 is marvel not, my brethren,
Yes.
if the world hate you.
Yep, so it's regular John. Because I was reading that and I was confused. I was like, what?
Basic John.
Ooh. You guys, you guys want to hear my Hunchback of Notre Dame voice? I mean, might as well. It's just friendlies in here.
Why are you doing Hunchback voice?
No. Like the song that begins Hellfire.
Oh. I don't know that Disney movie as well as the others, and I should because it's really good.
Beate Maria, Sene Virgini. I love the way that sounds.
Beautiful.
Beata Maria, you know I am a righteous man. Of my virtue I am justly proud. Beata Maria, you know I'm so much purer than the common vulgar weak licentious crowd. Then tell me, Maria, why I see her dancing there, why her smoldering eyes still scorch my soul. I feel her, I see her, the sun god in her raven hair is blazing in me out of all control.
Are you going to do a Thinker's Talent Show?
Thinker's Talent Show? I didn't know she had a talent show.
It's a new thing. It's just I think a one-time thing they're doing to I just heard them talking about this last night. Who just asked about that? Was that Storm? Yeah, Storm. By the way, hi Storm. Good to see you. Yeah, they're doing something. It's like a fundraiser for I believe a nonprofit that is raising money to help feed people in Africa. And so it's a very cool thing, a cool project. And yeah, you should get up on that.
Let me know when it is. I'll do it.
I have no idea. It's like in a week. Like it's not that far away.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Give me time to train my voice.
Yeah. You might be like,
I used to be a theater girl.
You might be in the middle of a hurricane when it comes though.
Right.
But you can do, maybe you do that song. You can dance in a hurricane. Is it dance? Yeah.
I have no idea.
If you're standing in the eye.
Saturday night is auditions and the 31st is the show. Oh, I could definitely do that.
Oh, well, there you go. This Saturday. I had something else I was going to say. Oh, when you watch the Disney Hercules movie, are you do you feel ridiculed and offended, or do you feel honored that they tapped into some of your heritage? Or
Honored.
Little of both. Honored, yeah. I've seen that.
I loved how they did the muses, though. Oh, I fell in love with the muses.
Yeah. It's not the best one. Like, it's not as good as Lion King, or some of the kind of like ones that they maybe spend a little more time and money on. But
I don't know about that. No, just I think when it comes to the muses, the fact that they had an actual church choir,
yeah,
perform these songs, I was like, oh, Oh my God! It's like I fell in love with their voices, their personalities. I was definitely the chunky one. Honey, you mean Hercules? I like to make some sweet music with that.
I
My
tell
whole personality.
I tell the story when I'm a stargazer, and when I am showing constellations to people, and like especially with kids, I like to tell them the story that I probably know wrongly of Perseus and Cassiopeia and I can't remember the king's name right now, Ophus or something like that.
Orpheus.
Orpheus, yeah, and the giant sea monster, and these are all the constellations, and you can point to them,
Hmm.
and then there's no Medusa constellation or Gorgon, but there's snakes and stuff, and Pegasus and all these things, and as telling them the story and the rescue, it's kind of a fun thing to do while you're looking at the stars. And what's really cool about it, I think too, is telling them that like, by the way, like when you tell your children this story in the future, you'll be handing down a story that's been passed on as long as stories have been. Like this goes back probably since before writing. People were talking about
Hmm.
these types of things and they had different names, but this like might be one of the longest stories that has ever like continuously be being told. And that always like,
I'm glad that you said that because this is actually a depiction of the goddess Nut and
yeah,
the god Neb,
I love
and
this.
you see the depiction
Hmm.
of Geb holding Nut with the constellations in the sky, and I'm just like, see, our ancestors were so intelligent.
Yeah.
And people don't seem to realize it. They just didn't understand their world around them, so they gave them, faces and personalities.
You can't like, I mean, people who live in dark sky areas know that like it's different. The experience is different. There is a deeper connection with space and the cosmos. Not only do the city lights block them out, but like the city buildings do. And
Hmm.
like there's so much less to see. And that's why also I think some of the people who were like oceanic travelers have such a deep connection, like with people in the Pacific Islanders and things like that who are cruising around island to island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. I've been in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. I rode a boat from Hawaii to San Diego once, and in the middle of the night on a new moon, if you go out there, it's a like 360-degree looking like snow globe looking thing that you're surrounded by, plus the like water like reflects some of the stars, so it even looks like the stars go like underneath you. It's like the most, and there's nothing else there, there's nothing else to see. It's the only noticeable thing. And so like of course there's a million stories about these and like what they mean and how important they are. Like it's more than just navigation. It's like this is everything that exists right now, and it's so
Exactly.
mysterious. Yeah, it's cool.
That's why
Oh,
I love like the constellations and astrology. It's even the Minotaur is the symbol for Taurus.
you know what I'm gonna do, since you're the only one here and no one else is coming up? I have this song called Medusa. I'm gonna play it for you.
Oh yay! My favorite Gorgon,
I
because
mean,
her
is there
sisters
any
were
other good
bitches.
Gorgon? Yeah. um okay, so this is a song that I have like built into my looper, so I don't have to like play everything all together. But I'll give you guys a hint how it goes. This is a song that like someday I'm gonna like put out. It's a great little tune. And to everyone listening, just while this is happening, tap the screen. It's a short song. I'll just do a minute version of it since my voice isn't warmed up anyways. And then we'll get back to the debates if anyone will ever join again. Maybe we just have to go back to the Phil Bros if that's all we have. Yeah, there we go.
It was beautiful. I was thinking of my own lyrics too while you were singing. I was like, oh, this would be a nice duet that you did with someone.
Yeah, get a bridge going. It's kind of like the theme of the song is sort of like early on, like if in a relationship, if you're like trying to get someone's attention a little bit, and then they finally like put their eyes on you a bit, and it's like, now I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. Like it's that feeling, that Medusa frozen feeling is like kind of what it is. And so
Oh,
you
a
don't like,
1000%.
yeah. So now it's like, oh shit. I didn't think you were gonna actually look this way. It's a cool little tune. Yeah.
I loved it. I fucking loved it. It's gorgeous.
It's a vibe. Like it's got a nice catch to it. I think if I could produce it actually, the live version's always a little different. I could produce it into something. Get this up real quick. Try and change it out. Sorry for shaking. I could, like, if produced though, I think it could make a pretty fun background. I don't know, guys. Are we done? Are we not getting any guests? Is it time to call it a night and go do something else and everybody go outside and look at the stars? The moon's out. It's a crescent moon.
And be careful for those weirdos, mister. We are the weirdos.
I was just gonna say, I was like, Kanji, we're the weirdos. Watch out for us out there. I really am weird. Like I think about that a lot in my life. Like
same.
I know, and it's fun because on the internet, you can like find your own people, and then we spend a lot of time here on the internet, and then every now and then have to go out into the real world, and people are confused by us. I bet you get it all the time.
Oh, all the time. Like they're just looking at me like I will literally like even, and I love to read. I'm a reader. I read almost every genre, whether it's fantasy, romantasy, smut sometimes, especially monster. That's my first.
I know we talked about that last time.
So it's like my taste is expansive. So like finding people who are into those same interests as me, like they're just like, oh, I dream of being with a dragon man, and I'm just like, oh, me too. What? Hear me out, Minotaur, and they're just like, I hear you out, and I'll topple it with a shape-shifting crow. And
A
we just go like that.
shape-shifting crow?
A shape-shifting crow, a crow that turns into kind of like that crow from Maleficent, where he turns like from crow to human.
Yeah, look, if something can turn from an animal back into a human, I don't think
Yeah.
that doesn't count as like beastie. Like, you know what I mean? Like
No, it doesn't.
I guess it depends on
doesn't.
when. I mean,
Who you
are
ask?
they switching back and forth during? I mean, yeah.
No.
Then what's the
No.
point? Then you're just like banging a dude. Like
I mean,
if you're gonna
it,
if you're gonna
I mean,
do
they
it.
still have some characteristics of the druid, like a druid type for my D&D players, like
I didn't play D&D, although I do have a bard hat, and so my former musician
Oh,
name.
that makes so much sense because you make music. You're such a bard.
As a matter of fact, this shirt is maybe it's reversed, but it says Boyan the Bard, and this is like a merch shirt from when I did music under the name Boyan the Bard. So this is my own design. And you can look up Boyan, Boyan, the Bard, Bard, and there's a whole bunch of music out there. I don't think it's on Spotify anymore, but I was doing that for a little while. It's kind of like Radiohead type of music. More, I got into a little bit more of a groove now, but it's weird.
I love that.
Weird music. But yeah, so I have a hat and everything, and I've done it for like Halloween a few times, and I fucking love the Ren Fair. That's my people.
I love the Ren Fair. I miss it. I used to go to them a lot.
I mean, you can go again. They still happen. The one here is good. It's called the Renaissance Pleasure Fair, which I don't know why they named it that, but it's like, going in that like there's going to be a bunch of like just smut, like people.
Yes.
And it's like, it's super kid friendly, but there are areas where they're like, yeah, don't bring the kids over there. It's going to be a little dirty.
It's just like separate them.
Yeah. It's
Then you
fun.
have like a high elf, me, singing in the background.
Oh, all over the place. There's just random people like dressed in full attire and doing something, and it's hard to tell if like, do you work here or are you just weird here? And do I tip you? Like, what I do? And they're just like, no, and they just move on. It's so cool. It's just a really good time. Yeah.
You know, it's funny too because my obsession with white wigs was like really, really young. Like I
Really?
always wanted white hair. I have Legolas to thank for that. Um,
You have what to thank for that?
Legolas
Oh,
from Lord of the Rings.
okay.
hmm
I thought you said
I know my
regolith at
accent's
first.
pretty. No, my
Like,
accent's pretty heavy.
no, I
But
just was
you
thinking of
know,
moon dust. It's my own fault.
and then the Targaryens came out and with Game of Thrones, and I was like, fuck yes. And then House of Dragon came out with the representation of melanated women with white hair, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
fucking finally, y'all can't tell me shit no more.
I enjoyed House of the Dragon. I think it got some shit. Look, the last episode was weak, but the one before it was good. And I
They
think
should
that,
have ended it with the three dragons behind
yeah,
Rhaenyra. That
hell
would have been
yeah.
such a badass ending.
The most recent season was like the best one of all of them. I think the first season was cool, but like I think we went too far back in time than was necessary. You know what I mean? Like it
hmm
started way, way, way back when like everyone was kids, and then it's like some people were growing up and others weren't. So like the characters were confusing to me for a little bit. But
Just a little
man,
bit.
there like the dragon shit is dope in that show. Like they really just like, oh man, they figured it out. It looks really good. It
Yeah,
looks
they
fun.
did amazing. Like, I think the most badass shot in House of the Dragon was when um Rhaenyra tamed Vermitus or Vermius um
Mm,
in the cave.
I
When
know what
she
you're
turns
talking
around
about.
and you see his big head behind her,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, what a badass bitch. We haven't seen anything like that since Dany when she
No, you're
calls
wrong.
Drogon with her finger.
For me, it was, and wait, I'm, this was a while ago. I watched it because I think this is first season. The thing, because I was like watching it in the background, kind of like, oh yeah, I'm doing some dishes and watching the show. It's cool. But
Mhm.
I had watched Game of Thrones with my wife, and she didn't really care about this one, so I was like, well, I still want to watch it. And so we didn't like sit down and watch it. And then when I can't remember her name, but like with the aunt, spoil everybody, like when she busted through the floor
Oh,
with hers,
Maze.
yeah, that's when I like
Yeah.
had to drop on my shit and be like, what is happening? Like that, like, and the way she looked on that, I was like, let's go. Like that was like the most powerful woman shot, I think, and dragon shot. Like it was just so sick, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. R.I.P. Auntie.
Yeah, it was good.
She was great.
Man, why aren't we getting any guests? It's just
I
weird
guess we're
because there's
too
so many
weird.
people. I've had like lives that have like 6 people in them, and there's always a guest, and then now there's a bunch of people, and hey, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. I have an idea.
What are we going to do?
Screw the guests. We're gonna let anyone. It's heathen heaven, and
Welcome to Haven Heaven. I love it.
and then so anyone you don't have to be Christian to come up. Just anyone who wants to come and chat. Let's just have a little chit chat before I go to sleep here, and I'll even do this. We'll move this over to here. Tracy, Matt, whoever, if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to come and chat, this is Heathen Heaven, where we turn the reason up to 11. Most of my backgrounds I try to rhyme. I don't do all of them.
He looks like he's over it. Like all he's missing is like a cigarette in his mouth.
I could add that. And that was the idea. It was just like he's sad because there's an orgy coming on down here that he's not inviting, or he's not invited to at all. Miss
I
Cake,
mean, he could watch.
as soon
Don't
as I
invite her
turn it to
anyway.
the mode where it's supposed to be only atheists, then you finally
No, right.
you're like, I'm a theist, but if there's a freaky orgy happening, I mean, I'm not going to
Well,
stay
I mean,
home.
hey, plenty of theists were given to freaky orgies.
That's
So,
valid. I actually was thinking about doing a live that just like went through all of the different sex scenes in the Bible, but I don't think I could get away with it on TikTok. Like I would probably get
No.
us in trouble.
no, but you know, One of my favorites, really my favorite, is Ruth uncovering Boaz's feet.
So that's what made me think about it. Is some other live was talking about that and what it means to like lift up the skirt, and what they probably mean is that she lifted it all the way up and did all night oral, which is fun. Well, not for her. That sounds like hard work, but
I mean, she certainly had. She went. She picked it.
she had a good time.
Set her sights on him, and she said, "That king is meant to be mine, and I'm going for it." And she effing well did. And then, I mean, if you follow the line of the mythology, which just even from that standpoint, it's an interesting story. Is that from the marriage of Ruth and Boaz?
Maybe I just need to make a back like
comes the line of Christ.
if I just make well, and that was the thing too, is that it all adds up to that the Christ's freaky lineage. But maybe that's what it is. I just need to make one background that's kind of a Bible after dark, and whenever these things come up, just be kind of ready and
Or about maybe call it Bow Chicka Bible.
Bow Chicka Bible, I love it. Oh my God. Bow
That's
Chicka
solid.
Bible.
Yeah, we could commission Joel to make that song.
Yes.
Oh shit, Mezzo. Yahweh just followed you. It says God just followed Live Creator.
I guess I'm supposed to follow back. Is that what you're supposed to do with God? He has 15 followers, which is true.
How biblical is that?
way to stay in character. I appreciate that. You know what? I am gonna follow God. I did it. We're doing it. Everyone
That's
follow God.
fucking great. And with 69 views, oh my God, it's a party.
I've seen a lot of
Prophecy
people.
fulfilled.
My followers. I've seen a lot of people be Jesus, but I don't think and I see Satan a lot. Like people do devils and stuff, but I don't know if I've seen just God. It's kind of a weird username.
I've seen seraphims. I've seen Archangel Michael's.
Seraphim was in here earlier tonight, rambling.
Yeah. And then there's I came across a Uriel. Oh, he was off his fucking rocker though.
Oh, who?
Uriel.
Oh, I don't know. He's an angel.
Mm-hmm. He's one of the archangels. Uriel.
They all got such weird names.
I have this whole kit that is like the incense kit for 7 weeks of the archangels, and like each day of the week you light one kind of incense, and like it's really, and it has like all the devotions in it. It's very interesting.
What's the difference between an angel and an archangel?
The archangels are typically in a role where they are like they are a named messenger of God, and also almost anytime an archangel comes to speak to man, the first thing he says is, "Be not afraid." So these are like fearsome creatures.
Yeah, these are the like 19 eyes and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, hey, I look really freaky, but don't have a cow. I'm here to tell you something really good to do with your time.
The idea that like to come and shout, "Be not afraid," is great too. Like to jump up behind someone like, "Be not afraid." Like, of course I'm going to be terrified. You just scared the shit out of me. Like, even if you looked normal, it's like, can you give me a text first? Hey, Ozzy, welcome in.
Yeah.
God just said Michael smells amazing. God, settle down. Settle down.
No.
Before I get Ashira and tell her you're cheating again.
I think that Archangel Michael probably does smell amazing. He gets a lot of exercise. He eats well. He's always defending, cops and people and stuff.
I assume he was talking about the incense for Michael. Smells amazing. But I love this idea of up in heaven, God kind of coming up behind an angel just going,
"Oh no,"
on their 19 eyes.
You smell great.
You smell great, Michael. That's why Lucifer switched. That's why Lucifer was like, you know what? I'm fucking done with this.
Smells like BO down in hell.
God said, I don't condone the defense of gods.
Oh my God. Do you know what would be a really funny video to make? Because
I love this guy.
it's on my mind because I just had, like I said, had to watch the like sexual harassment training seminar, like the whole thing from our work today. And they've gotten way better, but like classically they're really bad actors, and it's always like the boss doing the
I just had to do
thing.
that too recently.
Right?
So
Was David Schwimmer in yours?
no, well,
Dude, we
mine's
we
for education.
upgraded.
So
No,
Oh,
I know.
my friend Jeffrey gets hired to do those kinds of like those.
You've talked about this
He's like
before.
on he's like on a corporate track,
But
and
he's out of work, Cake, because David Schwimmer is in them now, as is Zazie Betts, and they're good. Like they made them actually like really good, and it's uncomfortable. Like it's uncomfortable as it should be. Like it actually makes you be like, oh my God, this is a problem, and it's like you have like are a little more concerned with it. Whereas before they'd be like, it's really important not to joke at work about this, and then show you a joke.
right?
And like you can't help them, but like
I'm
I
sorry,
don't.
I wasn't laughing at
It's
yo,
funny.
God is on his shit.
I know.
I was looking at the comments and I see that someone says they left the Mormon church. So that's seems like an interesting person to talk to.
Oh, Pickle Rick, yeah, I made the Kool-Aid for the Mormon church and I left it all. Any questions?
Come on up. Well, yeah. So apparently, the thing with Schwimmer though is that he.
Kool-Aid, though. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, I was just to finish this because it's not that interesting. But he apparently is like very involved in a lot of like nonprofits and stuff that are like trying to help grape victims and stuff like that. And so he actually is like, it wasn't like he's looking for work. He just was like morally motivated and did a really cool thing. And he was like involved with not the only person, like the director stuff did this too. Like, let's actually make these good and have them actually serve a purpose. Because right now they're a joke. And like, it worked. It totally got to me, and I took it so much more seriously. So I think it was cool. But the point I was originally getting to is we should make a video, a sexual harassment training video where it's God and Lucifer, and that's why Lucifer quits. I think that would be a fun video to make.
That would be funny.
Just God advancing on him all the time.
God, I told you I have a girlfriend.
And that's why God kicks him out, because Lucifer is like, I'm gonna tell HR, and he's like, you're fired.
Speaking of Lucifer, I saw an interesting theory recently as I was like, I've just been joining other lives and things like that. And I saw have you heard of the Loki theory? It's just super interesting. I'm not sure.
Oh God, I hate that theory so much.
Why do you hate it? I think it's interesting.
Because Loki doesn't give that much of a damn, to be quite honest. Like he's just pure chaos and that's it.
Well, I don't think it's like that. I don't think it's like the Norse god Loki, but I think it's very interesting to say that you take this idea of the adversary or the negative, the evil, and you say well, what if they tricked all these people and that's what they're following and shit like it. I don't know. I think it's interesting.
Do you mean so, the idea that God is secretly the devil who's been tricking people into doing dumb shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gnostics already believe that. They call him Yaldabaoth, the real Satan.
I mean, it's an interesting, it's a undebatable point. Oh, good. Here's Seraphim coming back in for some reason. This will be fun. But
I got you, Nelson. I got you.
yeah, it's an undisputable thing. You can't really say, oh no, I'm certain because if the trickster God was powerful enough, then you wouldn't know. That's the whole thing. And people always say Satan's so good at tricking us. So yeah, there's not really a way out of it. I think it's fun to think of. It's one of those that's a fun puzzle
fun
to
from
look
a
at.
narrative. It's fun from a narrative standpoint,
Yeah.
I look at that and I'm like, that'd be a great story.
Oh, Ozzy, you have a nice voice, man. Not gonna lie. What's up?
Thank you.
Hey, yo.
Hey, we all just took our sexual harassment training seminars. Calm down.
Ozzy, you have a radio voice, man.
I had a guy who was spewing absolute hate last night, but when I joined, he was like, yo, I like your voice. And we were able to connect
too,
over
Mezzo, I'm not hating, but Ozzy, he's like...
What can I say?
He's fangirling so hard right now.
Anyways.
My voice can do tricks, though.
I can talk like this.
Oh, that's pretty cool too, man.
Yeah, now you do that, Ozzy. Who's better?
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Man, I wish I could. I'm not at my PC. Otherwise, I would have my soundboard and I could do those things.
I might have a robot voice. Hold on. How do I do that one? I think this. Robot.
I just have a natural anime voice when I.
Domo.
The funny thing is, on my soundboard, I have those the girl voice thing where you can try and go to the girl voice, but it doesn't make me sound like a girl. It just makes me sound like a slightly like a tenor.
It's a
guy.
chipmunk.
Yeah.
Transpose.
Anyways, yeah, no. I mostly just wanted to hop up and say hi. Also, yeah, I've been talking to, Christians and other deists and stuff like that. Been getting some interesting information, but no, just popping up here to see what we're talking about.
I'm just vibing.
We just weren't getting any guests, at least of a substance, so we decided to take a little break and just kind of chat here amongst ourselves. The guy who was doing like ableism stuff before, and like trying intentionally to be offensive just to get banned, came back, is in the request right now.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Oh, he followed me.
If you wanna...
And Nelson, I consider myself an enigma. I am an experience.
Nelson, I'm a deist. I'm not like these atheist heathens.
Oh. He's talking to you, Mezzo.
I'm Christian. I'm the son of a living God.
I'm Hellenic Kemetic. I believe in the Greek and Egyptian gods.
Oh, that's so cool.
Thank you.
I believe in the universe and natural law.
Valid.
I believe in presuppositionalism.
No, don't you dare fucking start. Give me a microphone.
I'm
now.
converted over. I have this background, by the way. I converted background. I'm still waiting to properly use it. No one's convinced me yet.
Can I convince you to the deist argument? It's not hard one to fall into.
What does a deist believe? If you don't mind me asking.
A deist believes in a creator, but not a sustainer. I don't believe in the Christian God, but I rather believe in God being the natural law of the universe, things like physics, things like the elements. I believe that there had to have been a creator for things like the Big Bang and for the universe itself to exist. But I don't believe that humans were distinctly created by God. I think that humans are just a natural course of evolution, which is something that comes about from the laws that God created.
Dude, you're talking about my God, and yes and no about the whole humans thing. We're this crazy, believe it or not, crazy abomination of hybrid creatures that have just been going down way down to what we have today. So evolution is real, not on the scale that we think that it is, because ultimately his likeness and image is what puts us apart from any beast in the animal kingdom. So this is why we are the way we are. But we're talking about humans that at one point were giants, you know.
Sure.
To us now being, you know, on average 5'11".
And Yellow is with us too. Yellow, is your name Jacob? And also, how old are you?
Yeah, my name is Jacob.
Okay, I didn't mean to dox you. I just thought you looked familiar.
24.
You're 24. Okay, are you a believer?
Well, what do you mean I look familiar, bro?
Just your picture or something. I thought maybe we've talked before.
I don't know if we have, truthfully. Yeah, no, I am. I'm an Orthodox Christian.
Cool. Well, look, see, here's what happens, Hanji. No one comes up, and then I put on the background that says, this is where all the heathens hang out, and like 4 theists show up.
Notice that. It's a party!
Uh-huh.
I'll have you know, multiple Christians said, I still get to go to heaven.
Oh, I've heard that too. They can't all be
There's no
right.
salvation
So,
outside the Orthodox Church, so I don't know about all that bullshit.
No,
Thank you, Yellow.
no one to
Preach.
say anything, but I do
Yellow,
know where
which
there's 2 or 3 in His name that He's here in the middle. That's what I do
right.
know.
Anyway, Yellow, which sect is
Yeah.
it? Is it? Are you like Coptic or
Eastern. The church I
Eastern?
attend is Russian.
Oh, Russian. Okay, very interesting. So
Yeah.
all the you had Saint Cyril, right?
I mean, I'm sure we did. It doesn't ring a bell. I don't know
Oh,
all the
okay.
saints.
He's
I
the one who
wish
wrote
I wish I knew all the saints, but I don't.
I think he Saint Cyril is the one who wrote the Cyrillic alphabet, in which
Oh, okay.
Russian is written.
I have no clue.
But
My church is in English, obviously.
yeah,
It's just the traditions, the minute traditions that we follow that are different from like Greek or more Russian.
yeah,
My
yeah.
my grandparents on my dad's side hail from Ukraine, and they were Eastern Orthodox. I bet there was like a lot of crossover from what they were doing to what you do. I know that like
Well, yeah, Russian, Greek, Serbian, all these things are all Eastern
it's the
Orthodox.
same. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. And the
Yeah.
first thing I think of is Coptic. I don't know why
Yes.
that's the one that pops into my mind first, but I don't know, maybe I was like thinking geographically or something. I don't
No,
know.
I have a lot of friends who are Oriental Orthodox. Obviously, I disagree with them, but they're level.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, but you guys like have your Christmas all at a different time and a different Easter and
Well, Christmas is the same usually, but different Easter, yeah.
Easter's. Can we
follow
talk
a
about
different
like
calendar.
what the
than-
hell
yeah,
Easter is doing?
the whole thing with Easter is so I don't even remember how it's calculated anymore. But
Easter is based off of the pagan tradition of Worcester, if you want to go off that. And it's
No, but I just mean like when they choose what day it's on.
mhm.
I think I don't know. There's this guy on here who like puts up that Halloween is this satanic thing, and I tried.
Which is wild. It's one of the only Christian holidays that has a non-pagan origin.
I asked him what he does on Easter, and he says he goes to church, and I'm like, dude, you're celebrating a pagan holiday. Like, what do you?
Right?
Where does he go on Halloween?
That's what I'm saying. He says on Halloween that he like, I don't even remember. He said that like he fucking practices scripture on Halloween, and I'm like, man, your kids are gonna grow up like ostracized.
He sounds like one of those people that you go trick or treat at their house, and they give you a little like fortune cookie sized piece of paper with a like Bible verse on it. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Halloween is one of the only like non-originated pagan holidays because it literally starts from All Saints Day, which would have been celebrated.
Well, actually, no.
Samhain.
It's the night before All Saints Day. So
Yes,
All
but
Hallows
within
is
Christian
all
tradition, we
hallowed
would start
people,
celebrating
so-
the night before.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, that kind of thing. And then then the next day is All Saints Day, and then the following day in some cultures is a day for all our departed. And of course we know Dia de los Muertos, which is so popular in Mexico, but it's actually different parts of different enclave Catholic groups have this sort of this is the day where we remember all the people who went before us, whose death dates we don't know. It's sort of like almost like a 2-minute of the unknown soldier sort of ritual, and that comes the day after All Hallows Day or All Saints Day.
I guess Tracy was wrong though in the comments. She said she gave us 60 seconds, so we started arguing with each other.
I'd have no reason to argue with people.
Prove it.
You do.
Prove
I
it.
mean, I got plenty of reasons to argue with people. I just don't see the point unless something gets brought to me personally.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't end up arguing about religion all that much. What I argue about is people who try to tell me that the earth is flat.
Yeah, but that did surprise me how much that was swimming in religion. Like it kind of makes sense
Hmm.
now. Like I kind of get what their thing is now. But that was the surprise to me. I just was like, oh, these people just haven't learned about science yet. And like I figured there was like a mix of them and like Trumpers and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
which there is obviously, but like I didn't realize it was like rooted in biblical. Like I was like, oh, it's more than that. Yeah. But I think that's
Well,
like the case of a lot of things where like when you really find out like the root of like what someone is they have some like misconception of what they think a god told them to do, you know.
I I don't know. Oh, I was hearkening back to the Kool-Aid thing earlier, but it kind of um brings up the same thing as like I am like the more that I know and think about all these different cult groups we hear about, I've been completely surrounded by cults my whole life. Um like my parents knew they went to school with Paul Van Houten, who was Leslie Van Houten's brother, and she was one of the Manson girls, and they knew people that had been out to Spawn Ranch and stuff.
So I've been looking up Manson because I was watching something with my wife, and he like his all that stuff happened pretty close to where we live right now.
Right?
And when
Hmm.
for a while she had a job, my wife had a job where she was, I don't want to tell her job now, but
Yeah, but
this was
fair.
an old job, but she worked at for a nonprofit that was like sending people into prisons who could help them like meditate and do yoga and some other just like other like
Hmm.
general spiritual exercises in order to like find a pathway out to like be able to better themselves and get parole early. Cool,
Hmm.
awesome, like really cool
Hmm.
thing to get to do. Help teach people how to read and things like that as well.
Yeah.
And she like had to send volunteers into the prison that Charles Manson was in. And I remember just
Hmm.
being like, I don't really feel comfortable doing this. Like, I don't think he's
Yeah.
just walking around in there, but it's still a really weird thing to do.
No, he's very
Well, he's dead now.
he's got eyes on him all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've done work in um not well, I've done some youth like detention facilities, and I've worked in some uh back when California had more locked mental wards than they do now.
Yeah.
I did a lot of
The good old days when they
yeah,
just like put people in a box and tied them up. God, it was
Yeah,
yeah,
so
exactly.
bad.
No, I used to go and
the
talk to
easy
people.
solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go and talk to people in like some of the well, we used to, I mean, jokingly, honestly, they were always so medicated that I don't know how much they got out of it,
Right.
but we called it our drippers and droolers panel because they mostly kind of just hung out and kind of stared at us where we sort of talked
Jeez.
at them
That might
There's a
about
that might be bad.
there's an
you
interesting
know
subject I think I can segue into. Is religion good for rehabilitation? It seems like you were sort of like connected to rehabilitation or something like
hmm.
that in some sort of way. Is religion good for rehab? Because my therapist is actually like he's pretty damn religious, and he used to be an
Uh-huh.
addict,
Uh-huh.
and he speaks to me about how religion sort of helped him get out of his addiction and things like that.
I would
So
say that it's mixed because you have to recognize that a lot of people are going to come into this system having gone through incredible religious trauma, so that it may not be something that can be good for those people. And I think that there's something to be said for it. Shouldn't be forced on people who are just not going to get anything out of it. Um,
Yeah.
but at the same time, there are a lot of people who have found that their addiction, their struggles, that if they find a way for themselves to see it as it's they're not trying, it's not like purposeful, they're not trying to be shitty people, that they have something fundamentally different about them, that is body, mind, and spirit, so to speak, is different in such a way that maybe they can't tolerate substances or whatever. A lot of people have been lifted up by that into a way of being of service that really is good for them. So I can see it either way. I just think people deserve to be free from having their arms twisted into it, but the people that can benefit from it. And I also think it has to be really light-handed, that you really have to say, these are some spiritual paths that people have traditionally followed, and take a look at them more than, well, this is just the one way we do it here in this particular program or another. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
I want to talk on this too. So, I think yes, and that's the one atheist up here saying this. I do think that it can be the thing, but I don't think it is a helpful way out of addiction because of it being religious. I think because of it being group is what really it does, a like-minded group, and when and just because of our evolutionary predisposition to try to satisfy the group, the tribe. I think that when we see other groups of people acting a certain way, it helps us lean into that a little more and want to get the approval of that. So I do totally think it helps, but I think that you could do the exact, I mean, since it's clear you could do it with any religion, I do think you could do the exact same thing with no religion, but just with a group of
Exactly.
people. In fact, I've done it. I've seen it happen, and I've been involved in
Yeah.
it as well. And
Yeah.
by the way, I did, just before we get too far away from the cult thing, I was also temporarily in a secret ninja cult for a short period of time in my life, like
That's
5
sick.
years.
Why'd you leave?
We don't need to get into it right now. I'll do a different live about it later.
It turned out he wasn't a very good ninja.
I was actually a really good ninja, to be honest. And I know this sounds like one of those weird jokes. This is a true, real thing that actually happened in my life. And I will talk about it at some point, but I need to write some things down and make sure I get the story right, because it's very weird and very peculiar. And I want to make sure that I do.
Mezzo, I gotta tell you, you have the voice for it. You should totally do a podcast about it.
So, I don't know. Yellow hasn't spoken yet. Yellow, have you been waiting to speak? I just don't know if you're.
No, I got nothing to add.
Cool. That's fine.
I mean,
Well,
except for
alright,
the
I'll
fact
just
that
monopolize.
I think that obviously religion does help in the case of addiction.
But do you think it's because of religion, or do you think it's because of the group?
No, I don't think it's because of the group. Because I've seen it plenty of times where people are trying to and I mean, I myself, right, have tried to conquer certain things with people and having a support group, but it didn't help, right?
Okay.
So I think that at least the belief in a God is an important aspect of it, and I think that's actually what AA does as well, right?
Some
tell
people
you
believe
that
in God and fall back into addiction, though.
Sure. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's like a
And
no,
the truth
but
is,
also to the matter is, I think
AA
that
is
Hold on,
really
Cake.
light-handed
Miss
about
Cake.
it.
Hey, hello. Hey, oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
He's still
Go
going.
ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. As I was just gonna say though, I if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure AA actually tells people that doesn't particularly matter what God you believe in, but you should have a belief in a God and pray to that God during
Yeah, kinda.
their meetings as well.
HP.
Yeah. It's actually, when you look at all of the AA literature in toto, and then you look at, there's a lot of things that are sort of they're sort of offshoots of AA, or they're people who expanded on ideas. There really is sort of a common theme that it's hey, give it a try, use it with whatever kind of higher power you need, or none. uh, you know, um, I had a friend of mine who either they said, well, just sometimes it just helps if you think of God as group of drunks, or good orderly direction. And sometimes good orderly direction, when people are feeling lost in life, sometimes having someone give them just, why don't you try this? just
Yeah.
like fucking
You throw a bunch
house
of shit at the wall and see what
Well, I think
sticks. Like, totally.
right?
even
And
like
it helps if it's people who have led who've had similar issues. Sometimes it really helps if it's like your grandfather gives you some really good advice because he knows who you are and what you're about. You know what I mean?
But I
So
think like even that can be, like even that can just be praying. And like I'm a deist, but I still occasionally pray. Like I said, this was a while back, but I pray to like I say all things, but like it's just sort of like even praying is literally just talking it out. Like praying is like literally just talking and getting your ideas out there and saying what's bothering you. And it's almost like praying is just this version of self therapy where instead of a group, you're just putting your ideas out there and you're trying to like sort of make sense of it. I think praying
right.
is like this process of organization. And that's why praying.
And it does happen. Uh, um, people get taught to pray and worry about different kinds of things. And unfortunately, some people's prayers can become the place where they torture themselves
Yeah.
instead of allowing themselves to be relieved of anxiety and seek solutions and be nurtured by it. They become tortured by it. And I have lived through both of those conditions. So
Well, I think that prayer can either be like meditative, where you are sort of working on the self and you're organizing your thoughts, or I think it could be obsessive, where you're focusing on the minutia of like the religion you follow, and you're saying like, oh, I need to adhere to this certain thing. Oh, am I doing this wrong? Stuff like that, and you're sort of tearing yourself apart rather than trying to like organizing your thoughts and figure out like who you are as a person, things like that. I think prayer can be meditative, even though I'm a deist, even though I don't believe in organized religion, I don't believe in an exact God. I believe in like this overarching God. I think that prayer can still be this like nice meditative process where you sort of connect with like, I don't know, I don't want to sound like a hippie, but you connect with the universe and shit like that. You connect
Quietly
with
screaming into the void. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
Hanji has something that she needs to get to, and we can. This might be a topical change, but I'm
Yes,
into it.
It is going to be a topic change.
it will be a topic
So
change.
Yellow. Basically, what Storm is saying, we have seen it on a lot of deconstruction lives or debate lives,
Mhm.
where you get different types of Christians who all believe in the Bible, who
Mhm.
all read the Bible, but they all see Yahweh in different ways. Like one
Mhm.
person will say, "Oh, that's not God. That's written by man." Someone will say, "No, that is God, but He is merciful and He is good." Then you have certain people who say, He is neither good nor bad, He just is. So there are actually, and these people consider themselves Christians, whether it's preterists, whether it's um Pe- pen, pen, Pentecostal, am I saying that right?
Yep,
Um,
Pentecostals. Yeah.
okay. Baptist, Orthodox. I mean, we have our own, especially um in Greece. But anyway, each and every sect views Yahweh in a different perception. So even though they are Christian, they do see the same God, but it's different to each other.
Uh,
So that's why we see a lot of fights.
I get that.
I'll
And I think
also add, sorry, just real quick to top that, and also want to give Yellow a chance to talk, except he's got red bars. I do think that there are probably a few
Like,
people who do have the same thing,
can
right?
you all
The
hear me?
same, yeah. You have red bars. Hold on, yeah, there you go. I think there probably are a few people like it's probably really tight, like married couples, maybe who have the like same view of God, but like even within sects, within churches, within friend
I'm lagging
groups,
bad.
there are times where people have like a difference of opinions, and we see it happen all the time. I think atheism is so valid with the IG, where it's like, look, until you guys sort it out, we really don't have much of an input on it. I think that's a totally valid stance to have. It's no fun because we don't get to do all these cool arguments, but yeah, I think it's super valid. Yellow, I think you might have like bad reception and a delay and are not connecting here.
You
Try
know, I
again.
get that. I think like when I used to go to church, there's definitely like people who they share an overarching idea of their religion and their version of God, but they have different like interpretations or they have different beliefs and things like that, you know,
Yeah.
like one big thing is definitely like LGBT issues, you know, like within a church, you might find people who say, no, if you're gay, you need to repent, you need to like work through that, and you need to like become straight somehow. But then there's people who say, no, it's natural. It's it's a part of like who you are, and that's
Amen.
fine. Things like that, you know? So it's
Well,
like,
and like, I think that that's, yeah, but just real quick, I think that that's like these types of conversations where when you bring an outsider in to come do internal critique are where you see more of that, because when you're in the church or with your groups, you just talk about the things that you do all agree on, and then kind of gloss past some things or don't think up of things. But then some jackass like me puts up a background that says, do bonobos go to heaven? And we start getting a different array of answers because it's a weird question that they don't talk about in church.
and
I don't know
funnily enough,
why, but like, you
sorry.
know, like I think that this is why we feel like we see it more on our side, because we're asking these weirder questions that they're not asking at church. And he's
And
still having a
funnily
hard time
enough,
connecting. Yeah.
I think my specific church, even though I was raised a Methodist, you know, I was baptized as a Methodist, things like that. My specific church seemed like they were pretty open to like, hey, choose your belief, choose what you believe in. Because funnily enough, growing up, we had Buddhists who would come and speak in my church. We had imams, you know, we would have Islamic members come speak in my church. Like my church let anybody come and fucking speak. And I think that's a big part of like why I'm like, yeah, I think that's a big part of why I was able to like sort of, you know, not stray, but like move away from Christianity to be like that.
We for sure never would have done that in our church. We
Oh,
were
see,
told to hide from that. Yeah.
No,
no,
my church
Mezzo,
had a Buddhist
listen.
that would come in often.
That's sick.
I was a youth pastor, right? I know. Anyway, so we
Wait,
took.
hold on, just 1 second. Yellow, is that you? Are you back in the box? Because
Yeah,
your
I think
box is
Yellow's back.
blank.
Yellow's having
I hear him because I know he was trying to talk for the longest, but
yeah,
he kept getting
he's been
bars.
like leaving and coming back and stuff, and now it looks like his camera's on, but
Might just be poor internet, you
yeah.
know. I'm, you know, I'm in Florida. I'm about to have no internet for about 2 days.
Oh, you too, yeah.
Yeah.
I keep telling people they're welcome to come to California and stay here in my
Nah,
empty
I wanna
house.
I wanna ride out the storm. I love it.
I'd rather deal with Poseidon's hurricanes than his earthquakes.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well,
We just
Yellow had
had
to
an
leave, but I'm gonna
earthquake.
do this for Yellow just real quick.
Rip. Rest in peace, brother. This feels like eulogy music. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I'd rather deal with hurricanes than earthquakes. Fucking, I don't know. I never get hit that bad. I'm not in Tampa. Tampa's about to get fucked though, so I don't know if
It
you
was Yellow by Coldplay, by the way, everyone, if you didn't get it.
Oh. And you just had that like ready?
I played it live.
Oh shit. I told my musician friend to check you out. I don't know if he has yet, but yeah.
Well,
I
I'm
don't know.
married, but thank you.
Oh shit. He can
So
still look.
Mezzo, when I was a
That's
youth
true.
pastor, we took the kids to open mosque day. We took them to the huge we have in our area down in Hacienda Heights, one of the largest Buddhist temples outside of China. It's incredible.
Cool.
Totally worth going on a
That's
tour.
sick.
If you ever You should take your kids on a tour there. It's really cool. And then the nuns make you vegetarian lunch downstairs.
Yeah, we would have Buddhists come in and they would do I forget what the name of the art is, but it's that like art where it's the sand art where they sort of
Yeah.
create it.
So I talk about this all the time because first of all, I've seen them do it once in a not in a temple, but in like a hippie store, and it was really cool. I mean, I watched for a while. It takes like 2 days, but it's like the sand mandala type of things. And the thing about it is that when I make when I was doing the like T-Witch streaming music stuff more, I do it sometimes though. I would spend like half an hour making a song, and you just slowly build this song up, and you add like each layer and components until it becomes a whole thing. And it takes a while, and it like by the end it sounds so good, and then like it's all on the looper, and then you delete it. And it's very much the same thing as what they do, where they spend so much time making it, and when they're finished,
And I like that.
they sweep it up. Like it's just over. And I think that's so cool.
And I think like something that my church did and something that I think like that helped me move away from organized religion is that this belief that like if your faith truly was, quote unquote, moralistically good, they would allow you to go out and seek other ideas and see what personal interpretation of religion works for you.
No, we had lock-ins. We had literally like like our events for the youth every now and then was like, bring your friends and we're gonna keep you in the church overnight. And it's called a lock-in. You can't leave. And like it was like
weird.
And we would play like capture the flag inside the church, and which was really fun because it's like late at night, and we had a huge church, so you could like sneak all over everywhere, and like you're hiding and everything. But then halfway through, they do this thing where they're like, all right, let's separate the guys and girls for a little bit, just for fun. And they sit down, like some old guys, like, let's talk about masturbating, you guys. And you're just like, whoa, I thought we were captured the flag. What's going on?
Why the fuck are we talking about this?
And they would just drop you like Bible puberty talks. It was so fucking weird.
No, and you know what? I've actually used this argument too on TikTok. The argument I've used is like, and I've said this to Christians, I've said, if my pastor was in here, if my Methodist pastor was in here, you would probably disagree with him and say he was a heathen because he like, he sort of allowed people to have their own beliefs and shit like that, Like if I said to him, hey man, I'm sort of having these different ideas, he'd be like, okay, well, let's see how we can work that into like your interpretation of religion rather than like this dogmatic belief and stuff like that. So
yeah, and look, I mean, when I'm up here, I'm yelling at Christians and telling them that there's no God and stuff. No, I mean, I try to be pretty calm with it with everyone, even the crazies, but I don't like using that word. My apologies. The absurdities. But I do like, I'm not against that. Right. Like when people are just like, kind of like, yeah, I use my religion to get some guidance in my life. But then when I vote on what's best for society. You know what I mean? It's not like, so I guess I got to go be all like this because they say this in the church and stuff. It's so weird to me. Oh, look who's back.
Hello, Yellow.
Hello.
Welcome in. Color.
This is your introduction.
Yeah, Hanji, I did not get to hear what you were saying earlier. My like Wi-Fi. What happened is my router started updating on me, so I had to wait for it.
You want me to be your wife? Oh my goodness, honey! I don't think you're ready for a pagan. No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, unless you're Christian, I don't think that can happen. But you're a lovely one.
Damn, dude. Wait, you can only marry Christians? That's wild.
Don't be unlegally yoked with unbelievers.
Legally? I don't think that's a legal thing.
No, it's a religious thing.
Oh. You're saying
I retract the song I played for you.
But wait, you're saying if you met like the perfect Jewish girl, you wouldn't marry her?
Absolutely not.
You said absolutely not?
Yeah, because she wouldn't be perfect for me, brother.
Oh.
Ooh.
Although I am sickened by this, I also do think that there is a value in partners having like at least somewhat similar views. My wife and I have differing views on things, but they're similar enough that we're not like, it doesn't like it disrupt our parenting style or something
Well, I
like
get
that.
that, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I think that like marriage wise, that's the one person that I'm supposed to agree with most things on, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I think having a
Well,
similar sense of humor is more important than that, maybe. But yeah, I get it. I get it.
But Hanji, what were you saying earlier? I wanted to hear it, but like I said, my Wi-Fi crept out on me.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that there's different sects of Christianity that view the Bible and the deity of the Bible in different ways. So like one person will say that their God is all righteous and all loving. The other person will say, well, God has done horrible things, but he's changed. We've had others that said that their God isn't that malicious God that's taken out of context. So they have different viewpoints as to who Yahweh is. And then we have the Jesus followers who feel like Jesus is God. And they practically view Jesus in different ways as well. So it's like you still have Christianity, but they don't share the same God, which is why sometimes like we'll have a panel with like three, like especially in Thinker's Life on Freeform Fridays,
Mm.
she'll have three believers of the Christian Bible or the Christian God, and three non-believers, and then my pagan ass randomly. Even though I'm not pagan, in my country, Hellenism is considered a religion. But when we get to those debates, in these discussions, when it comes to the Christian deity of the Bible, they have so many different views on who he is, and I find it so interesting that they all believe in this book and in Yahweh, but yet they view him completely different ways. So
Yeah.
that's what Storm was basically trying to say.
So so I guess that's where one, I guess my misconception led, because I don't believe, for example, someone pointed out in here, right, or Storm himself, he said, goes to church on Saturday, don't do child baptism, and afterlife is different, right? But that's not the concept of who God is, right? So almost all Protestant sects, with the exception of like Mormons and Jehovah's Witness, Eastern Orthodox, and Catholics, all have the same central foundation of who God is, right? God is a Trinity, the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. They're all co-equal, co-divine. Now, do we disagree on particularly, what baptism is, or does one sect think, oh, God here was being merciful while the other one's like he was being wrathful? Sure, but that doesn't make a different God, right? It's their interpretation of it, which, in my defense, I would say is wrong. This is why you follow the church's interpretation. But again, the concept of who God is, though, is all the same. With the exception of more like Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses. The Trinity is what I was more in reference to.
Yellow, I want to say, first of all, this is just not your fault. You didn't know it all. But I'm pretty sure Storm is they, them, and you referred to himself, but I think it would be themself. I'm not certain of that, Storm. If I'm incorrect, please let me know. But I mean, the other thing
Even with
about
the
this,
Trinity, don't we see some different viewpoints, though, we, Mezzo? Tracy?
absolutely. I mean, and that's why I'm actually, Tracy, welcome, and I'm glad you're here too. Yeah, Storm is okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, like, and what I was saying too, while you were, like just savagely beating your Wi-Fi box, I'm sure was, was, like, in these like lives, because we put up like, atheists or others put up these weirder questions, that like maybe aren't often taught in your inner circles, that we hear more people straying, even like that they would say that they're the same thing, but then they stray so much about the description of what it is, to the point that they're just, even though they have the same name and maybe the same essence, you're describing like a totally different personality of a God, from the other one. So
but I think that's a failure of the church more than the person, right? Because the church.
Oh, totally. But we're just saying it happens.
Sure, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I would say that, for example, there's 2.3 billion Christians in the world. I would make the claim that roughly 1.8 billion share the same beliefs that I do.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I think it's
I think that's pretty high.
personalized.
Yeah.
I think that like every Christian has their points where they like differ. and a lot of those might overlap, but I think like I was saying earlier, if you look at like LGBT issues, a lot of Christians differ in their views of like,
right.
Would an LGBT person go to heaven? Is gay marriage allowed in the church? Things like that. So
I mean, it's pretty simple to answer though in reality, because you have two churches that hold the claim to being the one true church, right? It's the Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church. They both date and use apostolic succession to date all the way back to the time of Christ, right?
Well, where does Protestantism fall into that?
Yeah. So Protestantism comes in about the 16th century, right? The early to mid 1500s into the late 1500s with like Luther, Calvin, Zwingli, the Anabaptists. You have these people but their theology that because it's really prominent in America, right? Well, like I'm from America, at least I don't know where y'all are from, but in America it's super prominent, right? Protestantism is the largest sect within Christianity. Within the rest of the world, that's not the case. The rest of the world, like you go to Russia, it's Orthodox. Ukraine, it's Orthodox. You go to Greek, it's Orthodox. You go to Italy, obviously it's
not all of it.
It's
but
Catholic.
For the most part.
The large majority of these places.
You know what this is? Catholic.
Italy, you go to the more western side. It's definitely tends to be more Catholic. You go to South America, it's almost all Catholic.
But even like
hold on, Tracy, please, because I think I know what Tracy's going to say. Go ahead.
You have no idea what I'm going to say, and if you do, we're psychic twins. I was going to say this is just you over-explaining that joke from the Will Ferrell Christmas classic Elf, where every diner has the world's best cup of coffee.
No, that isn't what I thought you were going to say.
That's out of left field.
I mean, I would obviously disagree. I mean, but back to what I was saying though, when it comes to the LGBTQ thing, at least within the two churches that hold prominent, right, both the Orthodox and the Catholic, which are the two largest sects of Christianity, we obviously don't allow the marriage within our church.
Not in Greece, not in my home.
Really, in Greece they allow the
gay marriage, gay adoption.
Gay marriage, but what I'm saying is do they allow it within the church? Is it a sacrament? Is it considered a sacrament within Greek? I'd have to
they allow within the church.
They allow it in the church. Orthodox Church is wrong.
I guess my main question is like not about allowance, like what is allowed, but like why? Why though?
And the thing is that the main misconception too, when people read or try to read the Septuagintas, the Biblios Septuagintas, is the fact that the whole point of that passage wasn't even condoning homosexuality. It was just saying that if you're going to be in a relationship with a man, you better not be a bottom. You better come out of there manly as shit. I'm just basically, wording it in today's terms, but that's pretty much don't be a bottom.
No, it says that in the Blue Letter Bible.
Be a man.
I think that translates perfectly. But I mean, Yellow, I think like you are just over and over and over again proving Storm's point. Like, and I think like when you say like, well, the church doesn't allow it within your small church, not like the overall all church, but within the building of your church, there's probably some people who think that it should be allowed and some people who think that it shouldn't, and that's just what we're talking about. You're still talking about the same dude, the same being, but everyone views them differently. Everyone is forced to view them through their own human flesh colored lenses, right? And so and I just want to apologize to the 73 people here for saying that. Wish I hadn't hated it coming out of my mouth. Chaotic Bliss though, welcome in.
Hey, yes. So I just wanted to come up and share my belief system with Yellow. So Yellow, are you familiar with Marcionic Christianity?
Give me 1 second and I'll answer that. But I looked it up. The Greek Orthodox Church does not allow same-sex marriage. However, Greece did legalize same-sex marriage in February 16th of 2024.
Wait, do you think that
I'm from the country and we actually allow gay people to go into the church, to marry within the church, to celebrate milestones within the church? So,
But that's what I'm saying. If that
compared
is the
to
case,
Google, you have someone that is born and raised there.
I can only tell you what the official Greek Orthodox website would say, but If that is the case, then Orthodoxy is wrong, and Catholicism is the true church.
You could not tell her anything at all.
Why
That's
would Catholicism be the true church if just because of like interpretation of homosexuality in the church?
Well, because it wouldn't be based on the interpretation, right? For the past 2,000 years within the church, we upheld the same thing, and if the
But
church
why are
randomly
you
changes it,
basing your religious beliefs and
hold on,
interpretation
real
on a
quick,
book?
real quick. This is
my
touching
interpretation
hot
is
and heavy.
irrelevant to what the book says.
So
This is why I
check
don't do
this out.
panels.
Hold on, chaotic. Hold on.
Well, I want to say Chaotic hasn't had a chance to speak. I'd love to
Let
hear it.
Chaotic go. I'll go ahead and mute, sorry.
Okay, so since we're saying that the orthodoxy must be wrong because the Catholic Church says one thing's correct, do you think the Catholic Church ever made a ruling, meaning the Pope ever made a ruling on if cats should be allowed in houses or in towns?
God, I hope so.
Yeah, they did, and it led to a lot of deaths due to the Black Plague.
As Catholics say,
but that caused a lot of deaths going during the Black Plague, right? So we know that for sure. But bypass that. That's somebody's interpretation once more. But are you familiar with Marcionism?
Not off the top of my head.
It's one of the oldest forms of Christianity, and the Catholic Church warned against it originally, called it the first heretical religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they also stated, when you look at the letters from the Pope to his congregation, he says, or to the bishops, he says, ensure that when your people travel to new towns, they ask not for a Christian church, but for a Catholic church, because it is just as likely that they will stumble upon a Marcionic church. Meaning that the church was widespread, right? If the Catholic Pope is worried about it in 800 AD, which is about 600 years after its creation, then I would say that's pretty prominent church at that time.
Sure. I mean, there was a lot of prominent sects within early Christianity, right? You have obviously the Catholics or Orthodox, which would have been one church at the time. You have the Gnostics, who were very prominent as well.
No, they came later. Yeah, but yes.
What they're one of the first ones pointed out by church fathers.
Yeah, in about 500, 600.
No, like I believe Ignatius himself.
But to get away from like devolving into specific sects, like how do you sort of deal with what we've been talking about? How people have their own individual interpretations of religion.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't go with my own interpretation, because my interpretation is faulty.
But why is it faulty? Why do you follow organized religion? Why don't you follow your own? Why don't you follow your own beliefs?
Yeah, because I believe my own belief is I believe that there's two infallible sources within Christianity: the Bible and the Church.
But the Bible was written by man.
Sure, inspired by God.
What did Jesus say about eunuchs? What are your thoughts on eunuchs?
Hold on, before we get to that, just to tie it back to the last question too. So, like, Yellow, what you're saying is like there are times where you feel one way, but the church goes the other way, so you side with the church. I mean, is that kind of?
Yeah, same thing with like the early church fathers. For example, Jerome disagreed with certain things in Scripture, but he said the church says it is, therefore it is.
Just a yes, fine. And so for like Chaotic Bliss, you're a Mendocino Farms. What's it called again? Marcionic Christian.
Marcionic, yes.
So for you, like in your opinion, with when they were talking about like gay marriage stuff, is that stuff like okay with you and with your church, or are you guys against that?
Oh no, it's absolutely fine, welcoming.
And personally, do you agree with that?
Yes.
Yellow, how about you? I mean, so you're saying the church doesn't approve of that, but do you personally?
No.
Like you're not cool with gay marriage?
I mean, I live in America. People have, according to the laws of the land, which we're supposed to follow according to the Bible, it's legal. So I'm not going to be like, you can't. But in my personal opinion, I don't think men should get married, women and women should get married.
Okay, good. Because there was too many people up here, and that just makes this a little bit easier. Hi, Tracy.
Hi. Thank you, Mezzo.
I'm glad he's gone.
Yeah, because I mean, like, that was one of the main things that I couldn't tackle with, like when I was a Christian. It was like, how could that be a law? Why deny love between two people just because of gender? I don't understand it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of them where it's like when you read through the Old Testament, especially, it's like, what? Why is this in here? Like, and then like you can maybe go like, well, I guess back then they couldn't keep, shellfish in the granaries or something, like whatever. Like you can try to like figure out something, and then there's some where it's like, this one's just weird. And probably too many that are like, this one's just weird.
I've seen sort of. I've read on this, and it's like how you can base every religious argument or every religious point, like how Christianity mentions like points against homosexuality in the Bible, how you can like sort of relate that to history or anthropology and things like that, and like how you can relate it to how we want people to procreate, we want people to have children, we want and even you can look at like we don't want disease to spread, things like that. But like I don't understand how you can argue against love.
I don't understand how someone could think that the orthodoxy has a rule over my country. Like, do you not we were the gayest fucking country for the longest time? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and that's like something that when I go up on debates, it's hard for people to reconcile with. Like whenever I try to talk to a Christian, I say, well, what about before Christianity? What were their beliefs wrong? Were they being led astray by the devil who, according to you, did not fall from heaven yet? Like, were they being led astray? Like, what's the point? What are you saying? It's like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird that we have this historical evidence of things like, Greece and how it goes against Christian traditional beliefs, but they'll argue that it's wrong, but I don't know. It's just weird.
In the text that I read, in all fairness, in the text that I read, it doesn't state that homosexuality is wrong. It usually states that sexual deviance is wrong, or a term that closely relates to that. And other people's morality has then changed the interpretation of what that means. So bestiality is wrong.
I wonder what it originally meant. Like I wonder, that's one of those things that we'll never know. Like whoever actually first wrote those words, like what they were talking about. They might have meant, like, if you were like, are you just talking about bestiality? They've been like, whoa, what? We don't do that. Or they maybe would have been like, yeah, that's it. That's the only thing. Everything else is fair game. There's just no way to know.
I have that same thought when I'm talking to, any interpreter.
Hold on, Ozzy, I'm so sorry. Before you talk, this is the last time I'm letting you talk because I'm starting to close it down. I'm going to give you a minute, and you can be the first one here. So say your thing, but I'm just letting you know that you're going to get booted right after. Okay, go.
It's okay. No, I was just going to say, like, I just have a hard time, like, one of the main things I have a hard time reconciling is how can we trust the words of a Bible or a Quran or any other religious text when these are words that were written by man? They have their own biases, they have their own beliefs, they have their own ideas that they put into these books. These aren't the words of God, these are the words of men. And this sort of goes back to your idea that belief is this individual thing. And why can't it just be this individual thing? Why do we have to have organized religion where everybody agrees with everybody? Why can't we just have this individual belief? And that's something that I've tried to put up in a lot of these different lives and things like that, but it doesn't seem to work. I don't know. I try with it, but maybe it makes too much sense.
I get it. I mean, I appreciate the effort, but
too much logic for you.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I just don't like. I think some people are trapped in orthodoxness. That's not the right way to say it. And then other times it's like, okay, that all sounds fun and good from a hippie standpoint, but like, what's really true is like, of great concern. So
I don't think there is a truth. I think it's individual truth.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you'll have to tell us about it next time because your time's up.
Fifis. Like probably someone back then was just like, how dare you get with that man who was mine? No homosexuality. It is a sin.
Right. No, I do. I think about that so much. Like when people did like especially like even like wifing law stuff was like someone was like writing down the rules and then saw that like their hotter friend was looking at their wife and they were like, rule number 4, don't look at your neighbor's wife. Like he was just trying to lock it down. Miss Cake, you're up next. You've been chilling here for a while. Good night, Ozzy. Seriously, get a minute and I'm booting you. No more questions
Good
asked.
night, Audrey.
Go for it,
It
Cake.
was just a nice discussion, and I like that you booted Yellow. But this was a very nice discussion. Thanks for having me. It was all Yellow.
Mezzo.
It really is a nice song.
Mm-hmm.
Chaotic Bliss, you're up.
All right, so I will make this quick. I love everything you guys do. Your panel is awesome. Your live is awesome. I do have one quick question. When is this reading the Bible thing coming out?
Mezzo reads the Bible?
Yeah.
I did it. Didn't you see the episode?
No.
That was the whole thing. I read the Bible. I got to page 2 and a snake talked, so I gave up.
Awesome.
That still makes me laugh.
I'm not going past that. That's ridiculous.
That's awesome. All right, man. I appreciate you having me up.
For sure. Thanks, man.
See ya.
I thought that was apparent, but maybe not. Tracy, you didn't get a chance. I wanted you to come up and chat with you, but there was a lot of chitty chatty. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. And, I really feel like I talked over you the whole time I was here anyway, so I really made up for it.
You're yelling at me right now?
Again, I know. I just have no control over the tone or volume of my voice.
Keep doing it. He has a degradation kink. Anyway. Joking, chat, joking.
My kinks are unknown, and we'll keep it that way. Because then it's no fun. No one wants like a public.
It really is.
Actually, that's not true because Hanji revealed a whole bunch of dragon shit, so maybe it is fun.
Yeah.
I guess what you do is you tell out publicly your mild ones, and then you keep the super freaky ones. So we all know that for Hanji, the dragon crow shape shifting one, that's the mild stuff, guys.
The mild stuff.
It gets worse after that.
Wait till you hear about the Eiffel Tower with Jesus, Yahweh, and the priest. Anyway, continue.
So Tracy, you were saying?
What? You know what? Now I'm just thinking logistically, and I'm no good to you now.
No, Tracy, don't say that.
Someone was saying where there's 3 people convening, Jesus is in betweening. So I think that there's always room for one more. Hey, for everyone in the chat, if you don't follow Tracy or Hanji, please do. In particular, Tracy runs. So like, I don't normally do these kind of panels where we all get together and talk shit about religion as a group. But Tracy does. I mean, describe your deconstruction thing in a better way than I just did.
No, that's it. We just air grievances against basically any Sunday school. Charlie.
He's airing a grievance.
Yeah, right. Hey, good protect.
As a hellhound.
Stop. Okay. No, we look at kind of like individual topics that were really ingrained into us through indoctrination and Christianity. And we talk about how that affected us personally, the way we relate to ourselves and the way we relate to the world around us. And we do that through sharing experiences and stories.
And I appreciate that. While you were sharing that very insightful thing, Hanji was busy typing disgusting things in the chat.
Balance.
There's a balance, exactly. No, it's really good, and I've tuned in a little bit here and there. You're always on while I'm like right in the middle of doing bath time and stuff with my kids.
Oh, no.
But it is so I don't like chat as much, but I do like to listen, of course, to these things and support our friends and our people because ain't no God to do it. So thanks. Is there anything else you want to add here?
Oh, no, not at the moment, but thank you so much. That was a fantastic endorsement, and I appreciate it on a personal level.
I mean, I couldn't do it any more honestly. So, just really honest, good person to follow right there with a sensible advice to follow, I think. So carry on.
Thank you very much.
All right. I'm going to boot you forever now, and you're blocked and banned. Okay. Hanji,
Yes.
please be careful. We are all concerned about you.
I know. I will be I will be live with Justin tomorrow for the most part. I have two power banks, just in case. But I'll do my best.
I think you'll be okay. And I think it's, first of all, very rude of Storm to be using that username while you're going through this. I'm just kidding.
The irony.
How dare you?
Yeah,
No,
proceeding on the phone. No, I'm just kidding.
no, but seriously, I hope you do okay. And like, I know another like component of this, like you were talking about how the shelves are already running empty, is like whenever I'm just kidding, Storm, but that's a sick last name. Whenever a natural disaster comes, all of the artificial disaster comes along with it. And the humans often are like the hardest part of dealing with it. And in this case, humans most likely caused it, so it's extra sick burn on humanity in this case, you know.
1,000%. It's not just people cutting you off in the lines. There's people cutting you off on the streets, fighting with you to get to a pump. That happened to me today. It's
Like a gas pump?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like this guy saw me pulling in and he was trying to like intimidate me by like moving his car closer and closer to mine, even though I was already halfway at the pump. And I'm just like, if you hit me, I'm swinging because my kid is in the car and I don't play about my child, you know? Like these natural disasters bring out the worst in people. And it's just like, I'm all for humanity to an extent. I wouldn't mind another reset.
I think about that sometimes. Not that I'm endorsing it, just to be clear. Not that I'm endorsing it. No human should be in charge of doing this. But if the Earth were to do it, it might not be the worst thing for the Earth.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Natural selection. Darwinism.
Yeah, seriously. We're not the best of the species.
No.
But real quick, I'm going to rank them all. Number 1, sloth. Number 2, I'm just kidding. I don't know the rest of them.
Doggies.
Doggies second over donkeys?
Well, doggies, no. Dogs are number 1 in my book.
Over
Cats come second.
sloths?
Sloths are third. They're in the top 5.
Okay, good. I was about to like seriously ban you. I don't know. I don't know if I knew that you had a kid. Do you have one kid?
I have 2. One is an angel baby. She's my rainbow baby. She's my rainbow kid.
Yeah.
She came after that storm.
Yeah, we had that too. We had that,
Yep.
but then never had the, how do I say this? The biological follow through and went through other means. I think I can say that legally.
Ironically, when we were trying, nothing was working. When we just gave up, hey, you're pregnant. Mother!
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wait, hold on. Tracy has a list. First orcas and the J-pod. What's the J-pod?
Would like to speak with you.
Tracy, what the hell's
privately
a J-pod? Do I not know what that is?
I'm scared. I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. I
The
don't know.
Jesus, is it like a Christian orca joke? Like they're coming and knocking and they're gonna like tell you about, have you heard the good news? Man, I mean, we talk about that a lot when we do the bonobo one. It comes up that like if you did start to send missionaries out to do sign language to like these other apes, and if they started teaching it to each other, how like horrifying it would be, the like second round of crusades that would come about in Planet of the Apes world, you know? Yeah. All right. I think we're going to end it there.
Yep.
Thanks everyone for coming out. I really, really, truly, I don't know about JPod. No, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
No idea.
I'll have to look it up. God's still here. So, I guess I am done. I lose. And, it was a fun night. Look, we had a couple of, yellers at the beginning, but there was a couple of good moments in there. And then we all banded together and had a nice discussion at the end. So I appreciate it.
We got rid of yellow.
We
Yay.
got rid of it. All right, Hanji, I'm booting you forever.
Yay.
Goodbye. We all love you. Okay, take care. She's gone.
Look at the stars, look how they shine for you, and everything that you do, and it was all yellow. I came along, I wrote a song for you, and everything that you do, and it was called yellow. Your skin, oh yeah, your skin unfolds and turning to something beautiful. And you know I love you so. You know I love you so. Your skin, oh yeah, your skin unfolds, turning to something beautiful. And you know, for you I bleed myself dry. For you I bleed myself dry. Look at the stars.